I can't wait to see what wonderful technical disasters I fucking have today. Good morning, friends. It's been a while.
Why was it like the moment you started streaming, an idea came to my head that is not to be said on stream? Not any.
The Twitch paradox.
Like shit talk related.
User joined your channel.
The stray bad thought.
Seagrim, that is what we call in the industry content brain. That's you coming up with, see, if I shit talk this person, imagine all the viewers I'll get. They'll all hate me, but imagine. Hey Cube. So today's going to be a pretty short one. Just ArmA and then maybe briefly like an hour and a half of Reforger or GHPC or something afterwards.
What is the SMG? Was in the briefing or not?
There was going to be a second half of the stream later in the day,
SMG.
but that's probably not going to happen because I am still behind on assessments. I need to really just like stop fucking around and procrastinating and getting those done. So I think I'll try and be constructive this afternoon. And hopefully actually be constructive.
Pappy defeated the Nazis with the 45 ACP.
And the next like proper stream will probably be Thursday, my time.
In Vietnam, used the 9mm. Explain yourself.
Because they weren't fighting Nazis, duh.
Oh yeah, shit. They used the 9mm and they lost the war. My bad.
If 45 ACP is good enough for my grandpappy, it's good enough for me.
10 mil gang, 10 mil gang.
Either look, either you're a Fed or you play Fallout. Either way, you glow in the fucking dark.
What? No, fucking Feds use 40 Smith & Wesson, which is like the inferior 10 mil.
They did use 10 mil for a while as well, I think.
Yes, and then they switched to 40 Smith & Wesson because they're fucking idiots! It's the worst in every way!
Asshole, why did I read your fucking clan tag as ACAB? I'm like, fucking Americans!
Howdy, partners.
Dreams, externally and internally. I see, boy.
Screams in the third person.
How marksman is AT? What the fuck of a nation
I need to go get myself
that?
a cup of tea, so I'm actually conscious.
Law given to him. Because everybody else is carrying something else.
I mean, it makes the most useless class. It gives the squad leaders a justification to send out the marksman to die.
Now, you'll think marksman is useless. That's only because you can't shoot.
True.
I don't think marksman is useless. I just hear from Grim and Brand that they're useless, so I got indoctrinated.
I mean, Brand is the one who says the marksman is useless.
So do you?
However, after I deposed him, of course, in my glorious coup, I have decided that the marksmen are pretty neat. I mean, except if you're like a cringe person in the slot.
Yeah. So we have confirmed this was a coup, Grim.
Well, that's the word that got out. Nielsen had messaged me like a week or two after that happened.
Hey, Super.
And he's like, so tell me about the coup.
Ooh, what?
So yeah, for those just arriving, this was going to be a short stream for ArmA and then whatever I can cram in for an hour and a half before class. This is my second last class of the year. but I still have
Like,
a bunch of assessments to get done, so
User
the schedule's probably still not going to be
It's like,
fully there
I'll
until like
take over.
next
Cool by a
sort of
different name.
first, second week of next month. The next proper length stream
Ross, do you have
will
enough
be
fingers
probably
to count that
towards the end of the week.
296 ping?
No, I'm not from Tasmania.
I mean, I'm glad at least me and Bradley are living in the server room.
Actually, 296 ping. Holy shit! Has the server moved? It used to be like 396.
Oh, it did, didn't it? The original one.
Oh
caught
yeah,
fire,
it caught fire.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, and the new one is in Qatar.
I can't believe
Oh,
we
I'm
literally
leaving.
couldn't play a mission that week because of a fire. That
You
was
mean
hilarious.
I can't drink while I'm playing? Fuck's sake. I mean, I don't, because it's like 6 AM my time, and I'm definitely a functional human being who doesn't drink at 6 AM ever. But if I
Very
wanted
Nazi.
to...
Is it actually?
Yeah, but I also don't drink VB, because I have fucking taste buds.
User joined your channel.
What do you like, Veg?
Yeah, it is 6 AM.
Long neck breakfast.
DMC, if you want, you can go down to Andre 2 squad leader, but not platoon.
I'm just picking random slots, man.
Ross, have I ever told you the story? In
Darth
high,
Vegas.
in high
Darth
school, we had a kid. I think his parents were Australian or whatever, and one of my friends was irritated with him, so he called him an Australian with fetal alcohol syndrome, and I corrected him. I said, "Isn't that just a standard Australian?"
Shut up, kiddo. That's too good of a meme.
I thought that's what Russians are.
Baby,
Ooh,
long
they might be.
neck.
Russians might be. Russians might be. What's the good
All
one?
Slavs, actually.
I'm telling you, the Australians went east, therefore they became Slavs. It
That's
is
a fucking terrifying mental image.
User joined your channel.
Like, you take the blatant disregard for personal safety they already naturally have, and you just make it worse.
Wait, which one has the blatant disregard?
Both! That's the problem!
That's why they invented boomerangs in a place where they have ground harnesses. It's fucking dangerous.
I guess it's good for Ukraine that Russia doesn't have animals that want to kill you everywhere at all times. Otherwise, this might have actually been a fair fight.
But yeah, I thought that's what
Neither do we. Everyone says that. It's the people that are like that, not the fucking animals. There's like... Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking venomous shit, but only like 3 species are aggressive. The rest are fucking scared of people. The actual problem is fucking bogans.
The only thing I've heard, like every person I've like asked that have went to Australia, like how was it, and they're like, yeah, there's spiders absolutely fucking everywhere.
Yeah, like, and
yeah,
the spiders
no,
you
I'm
see,
good.
the spiders you see everywhere are like timid and generally not venomous and not aggressive.
All spiders are bastards.
He sees
I agree
spiders
with
like
you.
women.
You said
Right back.
three venomous and aggressive, so we have spiders. The second would be women. Then the third.
I mean, they're maybe not aggressive and venomous, but if the average size of them can't fit on a dinner plate.
No, like, you fucking Europeans are all fucked up. Like, the best spiders in this country are the biggest ones. They're chill. They're bros.
Spider is a dead fucking spider.
They're bros. They just chill out on the
I
ceiling
still
and
have
like chase
fucking-
cockroaches and shit.
Ross,
I couldn't do
the
that
only-
myself.
The last time I encountered a spider in Sweden.
Yeah, but Ben, you're from the
you know where
north.
It fucking was. It was crawling up on my fucking face, and I still had nightmares. I was laying in bed, and I saw some movement in the corner of my eye, and then I felt something on my face.
Although I like that
Imagine he would lay
Ben,
down naked.
Ben.
it's a uniquely Australian statement. The best spider.
I know you could.
Of a best spider.
I know you could do that yourself, Ben. But look, not everyone here lives in Stoke, all right?
Oh.
There's 3 of us in here, you know. We outnumber you fucking Aussies.
Yeah, but Brad sees himself as an Aussie.
Anglos and their offsprings.
A secret
They
China
are the
number 1.
worst. They are worse than Slavs. May God help me.
Just imagine, soon you're gonna have Chinese mixed with Slavs. That's gonna be interesting.
Oh.
That's been there for quite some time already.
Yeah, but
Didn't you see all those Soviet posters of the happy
Kazakhstan, Mongolia.
DMZ? Didn't you see all the Soviet posters of like the beautiful happy gay couple of the factory worker and the fucking peasant farmer?
I drew those posters.
Real.
For real, we actually had to draw them in school.
For real, no cap. For real.
Yeah, for real.
Darn. Alec, are you here?
I'm intimately aware
Man.
of the Chinese-Russian gay couple.
Everyone in my school just tried to draw the fucking that S thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did that too. This was considered Western influence. I was banned.
Based.
Yeah, she got pretty dodgy when we were like really trying to draw it, and it came out SSSS.
No, the best one was when I spotted the kid next to me trying to draw the fucking forbidden windmill, and he kept fucking it up. So it's like, here, let me, the Jewish kid, show you how to fucking do it.
So there was also this case that if you drew 2 of those S's, those chains kind of S's next to each other, it was also SS. So it was either Nazi propaganda, or if you drew 1, it was Western propaganda.
Nazi.
What if you drew 3? Hyperborean propaganda?
That's the sound a snake makes.
I can only hear the drums in my head. The drums in my head.
Wait, but USSR. You feel the thing?
The USSS Republic.
The United States of Socialist Republics.
we do have close to me the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Jesus Christ, I'm already imagining US Marines and BMPs.
The irony of anything in the United States being called a Commonwealth is beautiful.
I know. I think they should really double down
The
on
Commonwealth of
just
Kentucky.
ironic.
If by common you mean like 2 people have it.
Yeah, they do have that in common.
I'm so making a mission for the United States.
Since you had both, which type of school year do you prefer, Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere?
I'll make a red star. Oh wait.
I only spent a little while in school in the UK. Like, we only lived in the UK for 3 years total, and I was only in school for 2 of those years.
It's 20 hours.
So, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, I didn't really experience the Northern school year very long, and I don't remember it.
I think it will require a platoon medic.
We require a goddamn squad leader.
And to be honest, like,
I mean, which one is more important?
Fine then.
I like having the long holidays over Christmas. I do like that, but that is because summer happens over Christmas here, which I absolutely do not like. So it's kind of 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other.
You're always fucking like your balls are all inside the door.
Hey Piotr, if you go up platoon medic, I'll go small door.
It's fine. I just need to set up red.
Okay,
I'm hoping OBS doesn't fuck me today.
Everybody's in.
Let's see how that goes.
Wait, we have 14. We have 14 in the channel. We have 17 signups.
Okay. Brighty, you're getting voluntold to become a machine gunner.
Okay.
So jump up to the Andre 2's.
Did I Grim? Did I ever tell you about the wonderful method of voluntelling people without them knowing you're voluntelling them that we use in the army here? No. It's you ask them a question. Can anyone here do thing that makes them feel cool? Usually, it's does anyone here have a motorbike license? And the first person to admit to it just volunteered.
And
Okay.
why you don't get a biker's license. Are we just on channel 42 then?
When you're dealing with people that are wise to that one,
on
you
channel 40.
employ the variation.
Okay.
Can anyone here drive a tractor?
The channel Fortuna.
That usually gets them.
Damn.
Okay, so honestly, I don't.
Joke of the
think we
day, I can
get
no
any
longer
better
support
than this.
SpaceX and
Actually,
will be a
welcome,
NASA
Nick.
stand because I can't support anyone who hires Nazis.
Could you dump an 18 Andre too?
Second squad.
I love it.
Second squad.
Okay.
Thank you. I am putting us through.
Once the rockets go up,
Everybody mute your
who
mics,
cares
please.
where they
Otherwise,
come
I will move you
down?
away.
That's not my department, says
I don't
Werner
want
von
famous
Braun.
Alex sneeze.
User was moved out of your channel.
Campaign. Actually, let's go back to platoon leader.
User was moved to your channel.
Campaign 11, Mission 5, Stalwart. Location: Argos Dinios, Altis. Operation time is 1200 hours, July 18th, 1974. This is the exact time the last mission ended. Situation: due to the efforts of our paratroopers and mechanized forces, we've been able to fortify Argos Dinios for proper defense.
I like how you could hear
Soldiers and
Grimm's
civilians
brain
have been,
freeze there
have
as he
been
tried to figure out that word.
constantly for hours, digging positions and planting mines. This is where we stopped the Turkish advance. Our elements in core just a few moments ago reported a breakthrough along the main road. The enemy is coming straight towards us.
That's it, I've completed my transition to Zoomer.
Hold the line and inflict as much damage as you can on the invader. When you are at risk of getting overrun, withdraw to the positions inside of the town. Execution: rush to occupy position Patras. Use the AT gun only at tanks or priority targets.
Hey, Screaming Cheese.
User in your
There's a
channel
small
was
little
moved to your
detail
channel.
there for whoever's gonna use the AT gun. And then next, hold the position until further orders. Equipment: standard reserve unit equipment with an attached bombardier with a 2-inch mortar.
Hell
We
yes.
also have several M2 heavy
I'm the
machine
2-inch
guns in
trooper
certain
today.
positions,
I was talked into it by Grim.
already deployed. Friendlies:
There's no
we
rifle
have
grenade
friendlies
slot,
occupying
so
all
he told me
positions
this is the
excluding
next best thing and I
Patras
should
and the rear
totally use it on
positions inside
stream.
the town.
I'm expecting to blow myself up, and
Mainly
possibly a
mechanized
couple of
infantry
other
and
people near me.
MORTs, supported by tanks and limited helicopter gunship support. Civilian presence: the town has been completely evacuated, so no risk of civilians in the area.
I mean, he had a fucking
Rules
role
of
in where the workforce
We're
came from
operating a
too, but he
standard
didn't admit to that
ROE
either.
but with one exception. Non-uniformed armed individuals are to be treated as enemy combatants. As for support, we have the mortar battery Sviri, and then the rest you can. The signal type you can read yourself. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
There aren't any vehicles mentioned in equipment, but there are parked vehicles marked on the map. Are those for us to use?
Oh yeah. We have Land Rovers.
Are they armed?
Negative.
Oh.
We stripped the 50 cals to the positions themselves. The vehicles are mainly if you need to go away or move crates or something. All positions, by the way, have ammunition and supplies at them.
Okay.
So you should have no need for the vehicles.
This is the town we've
Anybody
been operating around, defending the last, what, 2 missions?
If we have to retreat inside the city and we get overrun inside the city, what then?
You may notice I
orders will be
missed a couple of ArmA
issued
streams
to-
recently. Apparently the last mission was
progressive,
really,
but,
really good, but
Right now we
I
have
was
a,
really sleepy, so I missed
a
it.
first,
I think
we have
Ben
a
ran it.
first order, which is just to hold
I
the
don't think
primary
Ben's run a mission
line,
for, like,
and
ages.
then we have a fallback position.
But,
The
anyway,
HQ will be
I have
sending
been
orders,
sleeping in
as they
because
come
my
in.
sleep cycle's fucked again. But I try not to miss the campaign missions where possible because I don't like having a big gap in the
Anybody
middle of a
else?
campaign.
We have a question from Ben in the chat.
I used to just
T-80
yoink
lines,
Kill Me streams and
he
put them in my
not to give us
playlist
some time,
to fill in
or-
for any missions I missed, but I don't
T-80 mines
think
are
Kill Me's
just,
been
to
streaming
prevent them
recently, I'm not
from
sure.
Basically bulldozing us.
He has like an actual,
Also,
like, real life
don't
now.
want them further,
You know,
because the AT gun
he
can't
works
fire more,
and he
north
has
than
like
that.
a girlfriend, so
Yeah.
he's probably got more
And,
important
the
shit to
AT
do
gun's
than
sideline
like
is,
document things that might
roughly like
potentially
this.
cause him to become, you know,
so everything south of that line can be targeted with the AT gun.
socially
And, as small note, with the
inhibited
AT gun,
in
you
real
have to
life.
zoom in. Whoever
So
will be using it will have to zoom in.
I think he's
Switch
just
to
been
the
busy,
direct
but I
fire
haven't seen him
scope.
stream for a while.
That's plus. You will see the difference. Otherwise, you'll shoot the ground probably. If there's nothing else,
I've been told by Grim
Got
that
it,
the
go for
2-inch mortar is essentially just a Japanese knee mortar. You aim it by pointing the white line at it, at the thing you want to explode, and
orders
just
are submitted.
eyeballing the
We got a
elevation.
position address.
So this is
I
either
think
going
I
to
will
be
have,
extremely based or extremely
squad
cringe.
take the AT gun.
Because
And,
you guys saw how good I was at
I
eyeballing
will
the
have
rifle
others
grenades.
Squad,
And I used to be a
probably
menace
at
with the knee mortar in Rising Storm,
house on
but it's
the
been a
north
while.
side of the road, directly across from the.
Also, this is ArmA, so it's
AT gun.
probably janky as fuck.
What is the squad call sign? Is it?
I
Andre?
have a suspicion
Yeah, Andre
it
1 and 2.
works generally the same way that the
Okay, I've marked it on
RHS
the
the positions
flares
are,
do, like the
very much
RHS hand
recommended.
flares.
The buildings will not
the,
sustain any
Russian
kind of
forces.
bombardment. The positions are.
Am
At
I
any rate, it uses a pistol slot
am
like
I-
they do.
mistaken in my understanding that the vanilla ArmA 3 gas station is highly explosive when shot?
We emptied it of fuel.
So, okay, they're not explodable.
Yeah, shouldn't be.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I don't need to split everyone up.
There's also plenty of sandbags between you and it.
Okay, cool. I don't really have a good understanding of what it looks like from the map.
Yeah.
I will take one Land Rover, and just have it back behind the gas station. I'll just say park here. I'll have one of the squads take it, and the rest of us will walk.
I genuinely missed the JTD
What is,
fire and
what
smoke
is
mod.
the anticipated
I
amount of
probably
time that we
was
will be able to
personally
hold off
responsible for
enemy?
crashing so many ArmA 2 servers because I never
That you
fucking
will be
disabled
able
that
to
shit.
hold off any more?
Even though every server
Yeah.
told you to disable it. I was just
what's-
like, nah,
what's
dude,
that
this is too cool.
anticipated to be?
An hour maybe.
Ain't give a damn.
But we have no
Everyone's like,
idea what's coming down this road.
why is shit in our base exploding? Like, why did I just
we
die
have
from
one
walking
idea,
into this forest? It's like, I don't know. It's a mystery. It must be a
It was
bug.
a,
Meanwhile, on my
a
screen,
mechanized M13 platoon that pushed through.
User joined your channel.
Mhm.
But
Yes, I
anything
see
looks
that.
like
beyond
fucking
that,
Ash
the
Wednesday.
airborne had to fall back into the town of Core.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, just put us through already.
Where do you want me, Grim?
Me and
Or rather, Alec?
me and my
I think
mate
Andre
Colby
2 is the understrength one.
haven't spoken to him for a while. Hope
Not
he's
at
doing
this
well.
time.
But
Oh, there you
we used to play a lot of ArmA together, and we do
In
like
here,
helicopter
in Andre
gunship
1, and then you
stuff.
can do
I'd
whatever
gun,
you
he'd
wish.
fly.
Okay.
Well, we had a lot of fun
gonna
doing
put us
that,
through?
but one time we got
Anybody
shot
have
down
any
over
questions
the
to Alec?
forest near not Black Mountain, the one opposite it, the one where your
stuff.
big doom
Happy hunting,
fob is
boys.
in the ArmA 2 campaign at the start of it. We got shot down on the side of that mountain, and we bailed out, but our helicopter went into the trees and exploded, and like literally within about 20 minutes of that crash, that entire mountainside was just orange on my screen, burning like fuck. It was beautiful. Very based loadouts. If only ArmA could simulate fucking aperture sights properly. The ghost ring on this the ghost ring on this rifle is so fucking good.
On the Lee Enfield?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the historic rifles that I want is a Lee Enfield, but I want the pattern 17.
Oh. That's okay, so that's an Enfield, that's not a Lee Enfield. The Lee bit comes from the barrel on the Lee Enfield.
Right, because it's the Lee pattern.
Yeah. But yeah, pattern 17 would be beautiful. I see a lot of pattern 14s come up for sale now and then. Well, not a lot, but I see them come up for sale now and then at like gun shows here, but they're all like really fucked up. I got a 9130 XPU, which is now APU again. And I've got a number 4 Mark 1 original scope. Same factory as the one serial to the rifle, but a couple tens of thousands numbers off.
Right, can you imagine your Dixon yellow,
I still need to fuck with it, because it's, like, it's... Even with the originally drilled holes re-drilled, the scope sits at a hilarious angle, because they were all hand-fitted, and the barrel's canted like a degree left. But it's quite good for precision, like it groups really well, even just with surplus.
Yeah. My whole... Yeah. I just haven't collected surplus yet. I'm waiting until
I need a bigger gun safe.
A bigger gun safe.
I need more money for a bigger gun safe, and then more rifles.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey, do just load up the crates?
Hot.
Leave the crates for now. We can send a runner to get them.
Look, fellas, not everyone has what it takes to be a 2-inch trooper. You should see it when it gets excited.
Step off, step off, both of you.
Oh, you have yellow as well.
Sadly, I don't have a bayonet for this thing. But you better fucking believe I shoot with a fixed bayonet with the number 4. What? Did DMZ just, like, run off?
I don't know.
I think he did. Man makes a joke about the way you phrased "in me" and then just walks off anyway.
He's checking supplies over.
Oi! No fucking slacking, Private Karapataki. Fucking lazy piece of shit.
Hey, Grim. You hear me? Who the fuck are you? Are you on 4-0?
I think that's a yes.
Personal getaway vehicle.
I remember that one mission we did. It was on fucking Malden, I think. And it was the mission where Grim discovered he could attach himself as Zeus to a particular player. And so Grim was my conscience for that entire mission. He just sat on my shoulder whispering sweet nothings into my fucking ear.
That's like hell.
It was amazing. Like, you're fucking around, and I should just shoot you on the spot. And my conscience agrees with me.
There were times during the Afghan campaign where I would have liked that.
Oh man, I missed the Afghan campaign. I wish I hadn't missed the first half of it, but I also, you know, was home, so...
Receive 4-0.
Of course they fucking do. Of course they fucking do. Who else? Well, I mean, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Pakistan does too. It's like the remaining surplus of fucking Mark 7 ball is either from India or it's from POF.
I'm even gonna reverse it using my mirrors.
This is like any given fucking road trip with my family. Oh, go open the gate. It's always me. Oh, we got a straggler. Oh, you just realized you were supposed to be riding with us, did you? After making a joke about the way that he told you to ride with us, and just walk off anyway.
What?
C40.
That's the way. Feign ignorance. You've been trained well, my son.
I have no fucking idea what you're on about.
The nice thing about it now being 6 AM starts for these missions is I can be a little bit louder and more boisterous without my neighbours probably wanting to kill me as much.
As long as it's just a leg.
Right.
Do the first engagement and leave them standing at the altar.
We might have to restart. We'll see after a while. Might have fucked up the add-on settings.
Oopsies.
I mean, if you want to shoot me, test it, do it.
Which add-on's fucked up? That's the important question. Is it medical?
Yeah, possibly Ace.
I'm guessing.
We don't need medical. It's fine.
Hey, Grim, before you reset.
Yeah, I took no fucking wound.
Do the rocks and radio station over there, are those floating for anyone else?
Yeah, that's just an ArmA thing.
No, it's you got.
Not for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
ArmA thing.
Also,
shoot me again. Shoot me again.
Truly, ArmA is the final proof. ArmA is the final proof. 9mm is garbage.
Also, we have no radios, so if we get pelleted, we just move to this position via the router. What?
Nice.
You have radios now.
Oh, okay.
40 check.
Very nice. Medic. What's the medic?
Medic.
That's me.
Medic, put some aloe vera on his bruise.
40 check.
You pack him.
Alec, you read.
Ooh.
Okay, so you can pack
Azrael.
Okay. No, just checking.
Azrael, I would reconsider where you are, where you're positioned right about now.
Yep.
If you do the control hashtag...
See that muzzle brake next to your head?
You'd have to go to your settings.
Nothing should be wrong.
I have a sneaking suspicion that if that D-30 was to, like, go off, your brain might end up in that dam over there.
What brain?
We are playing.
True.
So everybody get their game faces on, come on.
In fact, I'm scared of it where I'm standing. I'm gonna go over here.
Side as well. While people with like some machine guns stay.
Oh, there's a 50 cal here.
Engagement distance. Yeah.
Alright, I need to familiarize myself with my 2-inch toy. Oh yeah, it's exactly like the RHS flares, I see. Oh yeah, it is like the fucking Rising Storm knee mortar, like exactly. Based.
Okay, who is your gunner?
Okay, from me to the road.
That's the way I'm going with it.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Who's the M2 gunner?
Yeah, as you'll jump on, load up a
That's the small map tool? What the fuck? Oh no, shit. How do you... Fuck, how do I use this thing?
And then jump straight off for it. 60, okay.
I forgot, how do you fucking rotate the map tool? Somebody help.
What's the matter?
The map tool, how do you rotate it? I forget what the bind is.
It's like you have to hold shift, isn't it?
No, that just draws a dot in the middle of it.
Alt. Hold alt.
Thank you. Thank you, you king.
What are you doing, Ross?
I'm trying to figure out the distance to that bend in the road.
Dixon, get on the fence. Okay, Northman's on it.
APC's on the west road.
Alec, tell when we shoot him.
About 300.
Alec,
Hit the
200.
lead stationary vehicle now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, that's going to be nowhere near, but we'll just guess. I didn't even see where that fucking landed. Short. I personally would have given them another couple 100 meters, to be honest. They'd be way out in the open, in enfilade.
Yeah, they're driving them over themselves. That's fine.
So what you're saying is, they're better drivers than us.
I'm jumping off the 50.
Yes.
53 if anyone wants it.
Another 100. Ah, it only goes to 500. What is this weak shit? God, I hope I can get resupply for this thing. Because I'm going to go through most of it now. Okay, we'll stop there. That should do it.
Yeah, I just sprayed the fuck out of the water with it.
Nobody's on the fucking... What is wrong with you people?
Because there's 2 mags left on it, and I don't want to waste on the first engagement.
I can't see my fullest shot. Where are those going?
He's dead. He's already dead.
Oh yeah, now I see it. It's 600. 600 exactly. How are the frames, guys? Are we having any fucking frame drop today? Because I know I was having OBS issues last stream. But maybe maybe ArmA's better behaved. Hey, close right flank, 300, 300. They're coming down the hill, 300.
For anything close then. That's the only thing we got. As soon as you finish that mag, jump off it, because there's no point fucking running the country with it. Especially when we've got fucking Brenz and Liam.
Yeah, true.
Tank, jump on it. Fix it.
Oh, that's an M60. I'm gonna get some harassing fire on it, try and fuck up its sights. Give it another! Detroit's weakest M60. Oh, what? Did I tell you, by the way, my fucking NDIS support work is from Detroit. Or in the general area of Detroit, anyway. Yeah. It's like, hey, I know that place a little bit. Nice training wheels. Huh? M60A something, I can't tell which A because I can't see it close enough. If it has a little, like, stalk on the back of the turret with a ball on the top, it's an M60A3. If it doesn't, it's an M60A1. Oh, actually, fuck, it might be... Okay, yeah. So it has, like, a somewhat modern fire control system, but still really janky and analog. But it's cup, so, like... Super based if it's an A2. Yeah, I don't even think there's an A2 in ArmA, to be honest. I don't even think Cup has one.
Hello. How you doing? I'm doing right. How are you?
I haven't chatted with you in a while. Figured I'd come over here and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Well, let me turn to not shouting.
Social committee in the middle of this.
Out of the woods, bearing 280. Lassie, get on them.
Man, I wish I had a real gun. I mean, I got the 2-inch mortar, but... Do you want me to just keep popping it then with the mortar, or should I hold on to the ammo? Because I don't know when we'll get a resupply.
Alec. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, one time.
What's the range on them? 500?
350. Or around.
I hate the way the camera jumps every time you reload.
No, because we are going to get forced back at least once, I believe, so... Like, we're not going to need to save this whole
It's more than that.
Yeah.
Alan, we won't be here or with the other squad.
Oof!
Because I've been helping them for now.
Yeah, you just made
Okay, if the D-30's gonna get involved, then I can save my ammo.
If you need me, I'm gonna be on
Too bad, because that last shot was dead on. Might put one more into that tree line.
Yeah, I'm quitting, man, safe.
Oh, really? Yeah, we killed most of them with the AG round.
Is the entire 345th just getting the shits with work or something? All at the same time. Very based. I don't have a job to quit at the moment, but I am studying. And I'm swapping courses. I guess that's technically quitting. Yeah, I know, right? Definitely a real job with real, like, real leave and real benefits and real minimum wage. Totally not a predatory, exploitational fucking method of revenue generation by Amazon. Shit, wait, fuck. In case you guys can't tell, you don't make good money off this Twitch stuff unless you get, like, ridiculously lucky and then build your entire life around maintaining that luck, so... When you guys hear me shit-talking streaming as a way of, like, getting income, I'm not joking. Like, I'm really not joking. Do it for fun, not for money.
Me too. This mission would be nuts at night with flares.
Oh, fuck yeah. Just full-on tracer mags.
Some fucking Korean War shit. What was it? Fucking... I wish I could remember the name. There was a ridge that 3RA defended during the Korean War, and it was like just literally traces across a valley all night. They had a really cool... Well, have, but it's probably in storage while they renovate the whole place. But in the Australian War Memorial Museum, they had like a diorama, and the diorama had little fiber optics in it, so it would light up. And like that would simulate the muzzle flashes and the traces. It's pretty awesome. Just be XQC, it's easy, yeah. Just drink enough fucking coke to rot your entire jaw, let alone your teeth.
In here.
And, like, keep your dirty dishes under the bed. And, you know, have absolutely zero filter whatsoever. It's easy. It's kind of funny, like... Does anyone here remember XQC, like, before Twitch became, like, mainstream? When he actually just played games? It was like a completely different person, dude. It's like the curse of being a big streamer, especially after Twitch went mainstream. Your ankle not looking so healthy there, Seal. Hey Gilson, cheers to the resub. UUUH indeed.
That's why it's looking like that.
I do like that now Ace, I think it's Ace, natively supports casings. You just got a fucking mountain of brass underneath you.
My weapon cooking off.
Yes, because the wonderful developers of fucking Ace do not understand how an open bolt gun works. I hate that feature. I wish they'd fucking remove it. I can catch, like, probably every third or fourth word, depending how, like, hopped up he is on caffeine any given day. The fact he's fucking Quebecois doesn't help, so he already has a funny accent.
Safety.
Yes, I will watch south down this large open valley with my fucking pop gun that shoots 3 meters and then bruises whatever it hits.
Also, your character has huge glasses, which telling about your visual accuracy.
Well, yeah. because it's a thing, right? Because I wear glasses, so my dude wears glasses. Hey, you got glasses too, motherfucker. Who the fuck is talking?
You're the best. You're the best squad to watch over this and see something. I put the
That 113's still up. I mean, don't engage it.
Shit on safety and it's still cooking off.
Yeah, it's such a stupid fucking feature. Yeah, it's driving off. I think the gun is dead. I should hope the gun is dead. Yes, I do remember that, Gilson.
Yeah, safety.
At least it wasn't JTD. Alright? Be glad JTD was not ported to ArmA 3, or if it was, I never found out. Because I used to fucking terrorize public ArmA 2 servers with that shit enabled. But yeah, for the deep lore on what Gilson just said, I had a separate brass mod running from my original mod list that I used to play Anti-Stasi or Invade and Annex or whatever with. And normally it wouldn't be an issue, but we found that after a particular update to like RHS or something, it was throwing an error every time the BRDM generated brass, because like it had the wrong class name or something for 14.5 brass. And it would build up enough errors in the log that it would crash people with smaller amounts of RAM, including Brant, who happened to be Zeusing the missions. So that was a good way to find out who belongs to the 32GB master race. Spoiler, it wasn't Brant. Or about half of the unit in general. Like, it didn't affect me, that's why I never noticed there was a problem. Like, I never even noticed a performance hit. Yeah, seen Seal down there moving right to left. I'd call that about probably 500, 600.
I think Bren Ironside settings are also fucked. Because hitting where they are.
Yeah, it's. Oh yeah, it's Free World Arsenal. Yeah, it's fucked. It's the only bad thing about that mod. The fucking iron sights are even worse than normal. I should do the thing I used to do in Red Orchestra and just follow Ognion and wait for him to get shot and take his rifle. I'm taking shots from the close right. Oh, by the junkyard! Junkyard, Seal, southwest.
Southwest.
There, moving left to right. That's probably 300.
Okay,
but yeah, that thing, I don't know. Oh, that's a good noise. Correction, it's 200. I always have trouble fucking estimating distance in ArmA. Stop edge. Back in. Very good and normal sounds behind us. Is there another fucking M60 somewhere? No. Alright, I'm gonna need more to these guys. I'm a bit tired of that shit.
I don't see anyone there. Okay, I see another one. A bit up on the right. Down.
I don't see shit.
Yeah, me neither. I just hear fire coming from there, so I'm fucking pounding it.
What you had last time, there was a guy right on there.
I have no idea how much ammo I have for this.
Astro's backed up.
That fucking camera. I mean, that's how the weapon's programmed to work. It's just fucking annoying. There's still somebody on the right side. I think they're on the ridge. Jesus Christ. I think they're on the ridge line.
He's dead.
No, there's still fire coming from down there.
Prepare to move, prepare to move.
Prepare to move.
Alright, preparing. So I'm ready to move.
Yeah, I know, but we're getting out of the resupply.
Do I count as squad 1 for the purposes of resupply?
Jesus Christ, what's that fucking crap?
Thank you.
Yeah, I have crackling too.
I think it's the fucking Tifa occlusion thing. Wait, where's the resup? I wasn't listening. Fuck. Where's the resupply at?
I swear to God that was.
Oh, hey, where's the ammo crate? I'm tarded. Where's the ammo crate?
The ammo crate is behind this wall. Behind this wall.
Wait, oh.
You go around.
Oh, right. I see it. Oh, tempting, but no. What? There's no knee mortar ammo! What shit is this? What absolute shit is this? Only got 4 rounds left.
Because it's OP.
Yeah, the crackling's the Tifa 3D occlusion shit. We had this issue a few missions ago.
So what we're doing? We're running?
No, we're repositioning up top, which is the northwest, when Alec tells us to.
Can someone relay a complaint up to fucking command that the 2-inch trooper has been neglected in the resupply? Thinking of writing a strongly worded letter.
Didn't know you could fucking write.
Send it, Zeus.
Can't read, but you can write.
I mean, I can draw squiggles on a page. It's basically the same thing, right?
Copy. Alright, squad, on me. We're moving.
Red, yellow on me. Ball on Alec.
Alec. I tried radio in twice. What are we doing?
Why is my fucking camera tilted?
Do we have a resupply point there?
I mean, we're on a hillside, but like, why? Is my track IR fucking munted?
Blue squad on me.
Nope.
Be aware, we are prepping to move. Prepping to move when Alec tells you to.
Now.
Now. Where's one?
Alec, are we expecting contact or?
Yes. The position there was overrun.
I have.
Alright, so do you want to start lining up then?
Yeah.
I have 4 rounds HE left, so it's at your discretion. Otherwise, I'll burn through all of it. Also, I have 4 rounds HE left, so A, I need more, and B, you decide when I use it,
We have to go
so I don't burn through it.
Support it or clear it and then hold it.
Where the fuck is it?
Good question.
Yeah, I think we're going past it, if I'm honest.
I think it's west.
Moving west, staying west.
But why do you have a lie? I don't think the British have.
Guys, we're probably going to take contact here. Unfuck yourselves.
I don't think the British had a Swedish machine gun either during World War II.
I also don't think we fought in like Greece.
They did, actually, a lot.
We're moving west.
There was an entire Greek campaign.
Your mom told me they did.
And then the British government fucked with Greece after the war. Contact north.
I feel like we
Still taking fire from the northwest as well. Ineffective though.
Alec, I think we just got to... Alec, I think we're at the point Harolkian. Because of the house over there.
I can see the fucking trench line. It's northeast, about 50 meters. Oi!
Right, red, yellow,
Northeast,
yellow,
50 meters.
South. Pushing south, red, yellow.
What a... Does that include me?
Well, you're all HQ, Alec.
Yeah.
Yes. Alec ran south.
So is that friendly position still up? Because it's definitely right next to us.
Harolkian, he's not had any news on it, so...
Okay.
Assuming so.
Yeah, I guess that's outgoing from them.
Got Athena. These guys have found the Athena location. Be advised, we got wounded and dead. Medic,
Oh.
Medic. Hello, mate.
Thank you.
Man's dead.
We need a medic on me.
Yes! Don't mind me, I'm just taking the entire supply of mortar rounds. Everyone else is like, oh no, we've got wounded. It's like, oh, yes, mortar. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do this. At least temporarily. Maybe? Oh, don't be doing... Don't be doing this to me, ArmA. Do not be doing this. Motherfucker. It's bugged.
This bullet is dead.
Engage as we need.
Because this guy, he's dead.
Ben, where's the wounded?
I think there's only one.
That's my gun.
Is this you?
Where
Yes,
is...
he used.
Where's Brighty?
He's with the other squad, mate.
Oh, it's a fucking Steven Savage. It's got 300, 600 sight. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Long branch rifles often had those sights as well, but the British ones usually didn't. Mine's got the Singer Mark 1 backside, which is the best one. The most expensive to produce, but the best. Has a little fucking adjustment grub screw with 100-meter click. Well, I mean, it's like 25-meter clicks, I think. But like 100-meter graduations and then multiple clicks per, so nice and precise.
Alec, what do you want to do?
Can't even see where these guys are.
They're not responding on radio.
Yeah. Alec, they can't.
Oh, there they are.
SL, Jota got kicked off. They don't have a radio. Oh my god. I'll go find them.
No. You hear? You do, Ognian. Go find Andre too.
Hey, can you use the medic?
Fine. DMZ.
Dixon.
You go.
Dixon's got a radio, ain't you, Dixon?
Hey guys, stay safe.
Okay, DMZ.
Hey, grenade bait, spread out.
Right, yeah. Ross is right, spread out.
Watch out for like the trees area.
This is why I wish you could look over the fucking sights instead of through them or not have them at all. Like, this is the shit I was talking about in fucking Reforger. You don't look through the sights when you don't, like, when you're not actively engaging, you look over them, and then you drop into the sights to engage. This is exactly fucking why I can't see what I'm doing.
It sounds like our fucking Jeep.
That's the 113.
113 we saw. Maybe got down that way.
All the way over there?
Yeah. 50 cal's fucking loud when it cooks, dude.
The ruined house.
Not there. Over there.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, shit.
What?
The boys down there in the house. Dixon, be advised, we have information when the boys
Domed.
the village in one of the houses.
Fucking 600-meter shot, not to brag or anything, but...
The team went back to the house because he had no idea where we were. Dixon, Piotr crashed.
Okay, that's a separate 113 then.
Yeah, we've got another 113 coming. Be advised, we got motorized heading towards the west side.
Oh, he's up by the fucking factory, substation, whatever. Hillside.
Yeah, I see him.
He's firing 600 meters, 600, maybe 7.
We're taking fire from 50. 113 bearing. 280.
Moving.
Get some fire on it.
We don't have nothing that can actually...
600. Where are your marksmanship principles, my man?
Alex, down. Healing. 2 men down, Simo's down. Oh.
I think his gun itself is eating all the shots. I think he just got hit.
Q, start working on Alec. Healing. Work on Alec.
Yeah, he's driving off. I think his gunner's down.
Alex on the other side.
I got him.
Where's the 113?
Reference the substation direct west, hilltop. 6 o'clock from that.
Go. Get Alex.
500, 600 meters, somewhere in that range. We're also still taking sporadic contact from the fucking
Did you get the fucking gunner?
gully to the east. I think so, yeah. I think the gunner's down. He looks like he's slumped over and he hasn't fired.
Roger that. Apollo's currently down. This is Andre 1. We are in location Athens. We are taking place on the 5th.
Oh, fuck, okay. Yeah, he's not. It's 500. 500. Hold low on the 113 to hit him.
Roger that. Then as well, please. I'm going to pop in at the instant now.
Can't really correct my own fire very well at this distance. Was that a... I think it was a leaf off the tree. I was going to say, did somebody just fall out of the sky in front of me? Hey, contact northwest, close. That's coming up the hillside at us. Ognion, on your right-hand side, low. They're probably within about 300.
Apollo's up.
Like at the bottom of this hill we're on.
Throw a grenade down.
I'm not seeing any.
I don't think they're that close, but there's fire coming up from that gully.
I hit the gunner.
Good shot.
Use a grenade.
I did see Tracer coming from down here. Just keep an eye out this direction. It wasn't outgoing. Oh, there's a whole other squad. Whole other squad coming across. Left to right.
Go to the squad.
I don't see him yet.
Reference the substation. Come 2:30, 3 o'clock from that. Left to right. Incoming! Right!
Get down.
Spread out, spread out.
Ben,
Yeah.
is there a large concentration?
I am. Everybody okay? We saw contact about there, heading towards us, but
It's hitting the
other than
fucking
that,
tree.
There's nothing concrete. Piotr's team is in a house somewhere.
Fuck, that was a good shot.
Sim knows where they are. But they got wounded. So they're currently pinned there for that.
You can play at that game, motherfuckers.
Sim's down. Lazzie's down.
We have multiple.
They're coming closer on the right. They're all strung out, but there's a couple coming closer on the right.
Could you not get hit that hard?
Ross.
Yeah?
Point me.
There. Left to right.
Oh, this is gonna take a while.
I think I've successfully dispersed them at least. Motherfucker, stop shooting at me.
Yeah, you did that.
Fucking... Coming down on the left.
113's moving again.
I'm gonna CPR. Boys.
Alex, you want to go try and find other
He's not
team?
bleeding anymore.
Infantry by the rock.
Oh fuck.
You just sued him.
Yeah, see?
Did you just fucking...
I'm engaging the guys in the trees.
Alec.
Yeah.
Let me go see where Piotr's team is.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, work on it.
Stop tracking him.
Still long on those.
Yeah, he's there.
Helicopter! Helicopter!
Helo.
Also, guys, moving towards the road from where the M113 was.
Yeah, seen.
If you stay still for a while, I'll back.
Fuck, I'm out of ammo for the mortar.
30 seconds. But you took a lot of damage, so we'll get that.
Let's go back to 3. It's going to be short. Oh, no, that's about 3.
Got him, the hit. Well,
It's 300 meters. That's 3? Really? Man, my visual range finding in ArmA is all fucked up.
in the trees, closer. Over there.
4 seconds. 2. 1. Good, go.
Yeah, I see him. Same guys I was engaging before. I saw a hit. He's down. Good shot. There's more in there, probably.
Yeah, got one.
I'm gonna see if there's any more ammo boxes I can scrounge from.
Timo's dead.
F.
Fortunately.
Which trio 3 have I got? Not a lot. We'll grab some more. I'm probably going to grab my submachine gun back when we displace from here. I just want to have something that has a bit more reach while we're in this position. Oh, there's a fucking 50 cal here, but it's fucking blown up. God damn it.
Yeah, I would have fucking jumped on it if I could.
Oh, there's... Oh, actually, no, never mind. Hang on. I was going to say there's ammo boxes here, but I think it's just this guy's gear.
Platoon, listen up. We're going to be going back to the fallback point. I need you to use the tourniquet, anything that's bleeding. Grab anything that you so desire, and we're going to be falling back.
I think everybody is on the up and up except that guy. And he is, with his mount, he has been sick for a while.
Alright, I'm good to go.
Good to go.
I'm ready.
I figured out where the other squad is yet, because we checked the village, they weren't there.
Ben, did you get contact with Andre too?
Oh, I wish. If it came much closer and I had any rounds left, I'd try for it.
Right, everyone on me. Everyone on me. Is anyone unconscious?
Shouldn't be.
Alright, we're moving.
Spread out a little.
Yeah, otherwise 155 and we're all gone.
One mortar and we're all gone. Grim was right, this 2-inch mortar is, like, hilariously fun. I should do this more often.
Boys, we're all going into the Land Rover as the...
It really is like fucking playing Rising Storm.
Oh, I found the other squad. Hello, boys.
Yeah, left control and C is the one for me. If you want to go into settings, go to...
DMZ just running off to join the other squad. As you do. Over. There we go. 1-on-3's coming from the south. Low ground. Whoops does this? Seal. There's 1-on-3's coming from the south.
Uh-oh.
Are we all just piling in?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, except that other squad.
Okay.
And we
Get in.
go
You
soon.
need to get in now, Ognian.
Fuck it, I'll grab her.
Yeah.
I'm not that heavy. So we'll grab
Alright.
some anti-tank. The nuclear arsenals? God, I dare not think. I have been reading a bit about like the history of the Indian nuclear program lately, just because you know I was bored and I had nothing better to do. It's interesting.
Carnies?
Might as well park the vehicle somewhere where it won't get hit by a mortar.
Oh, I see.
By saying that, you've guaranteed a fucking 155 is gonna land on that garage. Absolutely guaranteed.
Ross.
Yeah.
I like that. What you doing? What are you studying?
Well, I am studying a diploma of community services at the moment, but I'm gonna swap to a diploma of counseling. Because the community services diploma is too, like, fucking managerial. I want to work with people, not fucking work with forms. I need mortar ammo. Oh, this is shit. These windows are all closed. In the direction the enemy are coming from.
It's below first floor, I saw.
Oh.
Some medical shit.
First floor. Oh, I see it.
I'll grab some ammo. I will take that law.
10 rounds. There we go. Yeah, there was an attack coming up from the south. We're not in a position to see it, unfortunately. Call of Duty gamer over here comparing kills.
How you all doing?
Good. I feel like I should put myself somewhere I can actually use this thing.
Right, so you're aware we're gonna have friendlies
Ross,
retreating past us.
You're basically in the squad. Just join on my butt.
Well, no, I'm technically attached to HQ,
He's
but
attached to Bethune, unfortunately.
I don't know where Alex gone. Oh, he's over here.
Just arrest him. He's used to that.
Oh, where is it?
I'm just gonna stick with the Land Rover. I put it in the garage over there.
Speaking of arresting.
Okay.
What? Cars go in the garage. That's where they
I'm
go.
now your spotter and radio man.
How do you have enough time to park him?
Just fuck it. I have the scope. I have the binoculars. I have the radio. Might as well make sense, right?
I also have some binoculars. I yoinked them.
Right, lads, so you're aware we're gonna have fucking friendly infantry pushing past us in a retreating manner.
In a retreating
the wrong
manner.
direction.
Yeah,
It's
TID.
fine.
Look between the rest of you and see what you look like.
How dare you say wrong direction?
I don't know.
It's objectively the correct direction.
I'm just questioning why we don't have a position on the other side of the MSR.
Because there's already friendlies over there defending the south side.
Oh. Well, they're AI, so defending.
That probably means they're going to do it more effectively and efficiently than we will.
Yep.
There's a slide over there.
Stuck in the middle of the highway waiting for one background. I think Andre 2 just lost their LMG.
We've lost everything. I told him to reconnect because it can be bugged sometimes, the walking.
Yes! Yes! Get in my backpack!
Leave and...
Yeah, I'm just informing everybody else so nobody's surprised.
Yeah.
Like a lemming. A lemming walk over here.
I desire something to shoot my 2-inch tube at.
There will be plenty of...
I my fucking Carl Gustav for a fucking sniper rifle, and then we go into town.
My sniper rifle, so yeah, thank you. Oh, missiles?
No, that's...
Victor audio south, Victor audio south, Victor audio south.
That's... Oh, mortars, mortars. It's outgoing friendly mortars.
That's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
I should fucking hope not, considering I said it's outgoing.
West, northwest, here's a shot.
Yeah, I see one.
Yeah, I see.
Wait.
I'm gonna do a stupid and get on the roof.
No. Okay, oh yeah,
Northwest,
it is.
on the bank.
That guy is friendly. Yeah.
Watch your fire, friendly's northwest.
Vehicle audio coming from the west, southwest.
By the way, I'm gonna attempt to go to that house and climb, and just to have an eye.
No.
Huh? Okay.
They're gonna be here soon enough.
Okay.
A vehicle audio both west and south. Same time.
Okay, I'm gonna get off the roof now. Oh, fuck, that's... Shit!
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of the way.
Down.
Just use Shift V. Just use the advanced movement.
I tried to, it didn't work, and I don't trust it for jumping down shit like that. I probably wasn't standing in the right spot. Big time movement! By the fucking hamburger stand, or fucking gyros stand, actually. West-southwest. It's Turks, it's Turks!
One of you use your M72 on that thing.
Everyone's gonna fucking get backblasted. Hit it, hit it!
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Am I good? Move!
I'm clear.
You better be! He wasn't.
Fucking ArmA. No, I was ArmA, don't worry, I fell off.
Where are you?
Just downstairs, I'm fine. I'm a medic.
Bruh. How did that miss?
There's a guy on the left side. Somewhere. Oh. In bushes. Hit it.
A bunch of them got away from that. Oh! Crossing! He's down. They're gonna be close. They're probably moving through the buildings towards us.
I got a second law if anybody needs it.
Vehicle audio south-southwest.
Packing.
That's hard to kill.
Still movement down by the gyros stand. They're still coming up that hill. Fuck him. Fuck. I hate the way it looks up.
Both Andre 1 and 2 at this position, right?
Yes.
Yep. What's left of me?
Ross, you like that thing too much.
No such thing as too much. The only bad thing is it jolts my camera up into the fucking sky every time I try and reload or look away. I'm hit! Ow! One of you motherfuckers just shot me.
I got you.
Alec?
I got you, Ross.
Did I shoot your right arm?
Yes.
It wasn't even visible in my scope.
Actually, I think you shot me in the fucking torso.
No, in the arm.
That's not even possible.
Dude, parallax exists in ArmA. Like, hide over bore exists in ArmA.
I'm passing you 10 seconds. Like, you can do whatever, you just don't move.
Contact northwest.
Alright, Ross, all good.
Thank you. Northwest, you said?
Northwest. They've just gone behind this building.
Alright, anything 100 meters or more to our west and northwest is about to get fucked.
It's probably less than that. There's a single guy just behind the building directly northwest.
Oh my god, who's got a brand?
Is it that?
Ross,
Yeah.
here. Come here.
Yeah?
Oh, I see it. Guys, right there.
Wait, hang on. Point again? Oh, I see him, I see him. The ranges on this thing are cooked. I don't think that's fucking 200. It's probably gonna go long. It's like the Bren. No, but the ranges are wrong. It's like the Bren. Seal was fucking ranged to 360 something. He was hitting fucking 600.
Oh shit.
Where did that land? Oh, is that actually short? Okay, maybe it's right on this. You just put the white line on the azimuth of what you want to hit, and you use like a, see in the top right it says 200 meters, you use that. And then the rest is just eyeballing, so I'm aiming slightly above or below the target based on where I think it needs to correct. Alright, I can't see them anymore, so I'm just gonna... South on the road? Fuck. Oh, shit!
MG down.
Nice.
Down the road, south clear now.
I'm going.
West, M113. At the Gyros place. One down.
More south!
One down. More coming.
Alright, I'm watching south.
I'm watching west.
Fuck, those are good shots. Too bad about the time of flight.
Oh, nice shot. I'll check northwest.
I'm in love with this fucking mortar.
Oh, I see northwest.
Oh, close. On the road. 1 sec. Southwest. One down.
They are close down.
We have northwest. I was within 100 meters.
They're in like the next courtyard west. Frag out.
Motherfucker be combat rolling.
Yeah. There's one in compound over there.
Copy.
We've got contact west side on the hill.
Checking pulse. Alec.
On the road by the 113. Shit, close! Fucking right at us.
Alec, really? Wow.
Hey, they're down at the Gyros stand. More of them coming up the road. Get a machine gun or something up here. Fuck. Close south as well. Jesus, fuck me.
Reloading.
No.
We need to pull back, like, literally.
We need a fucking machine gun up here. If we had a Bren where DMZ is right now, we would have wiped like an entire platoon.
I'm doing my best with the scope, don't worry.
I'm out at 2-inch. Again.
Is there more in the vehicle?
No. Still a couple guys down there. Close, left!
Close.
Got him. They're still down by the gyro stand.
Hey, hold on.
By the way, watch, one should be around here.
Yeah, I know. I threw a frag into that a couple minutes ago. I might throw another soon.
Because he escaped from me. Oh.
Shots left! Up the road, south! He crossed the street, south.
Don't.
Sorry.
My boy's doing over here.
Close! Down. Fuck me. That house southwest.
But he was outside.
We need that demolished.
Alex down.
I'm low ammo.
Right.
I'm going for a ammo run downstairs. I'm out of mortar, by the way. There's 72s in this box if anyone wants them.
Yeah, I'll look after this.
Are you okay holding the position, or do you want me to send one or two of my lads over?
We could use a machine gun.
One machine gun here, like, we really need it.
Oh, we've got one. We've got one. Bridie's here. Bridie's here.
Oh, that's here, okay.
They're rolling up on us close. Right, Bridie. Watch down there.
Come on, Alex.
I got south. Oh, didn't want to do that. Just want to be able to cover him, but it's kind of sketchy here.
Taking pole.
This is Andre 1, go ahead.
If only I had white phos rounds for the fucking 2-inch.
Alec, I'm sure you heard that. Whoa!
Here he is.
I was tapped out.
Air vehicle.
Friendly truck behind us.
That's a friendly
truck
between.
behind.
Alex up.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a friendly truck.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. You're good at it.
Alex, did you hear that on radio, mate?
Yep.
James, did you pack it?
Right, I'm pulling back to my position, okay?
I just packed myself, but thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else need packing?
Nah, everyone's good now.
So you don't reload. You also just pull back.
I do, yeah.
Popping pre-auto.
And the fucking
Fuck was that?
66.
Something exploded. That's a vehicle, probably an M113 somewhere down there.
Please don't go up there.
I need to. I think it's the M13.
And yes, I know it's called an M72. Slang for it here is 66, because 66mm. So you have your two main anti-tank weapons were 66 and 84. 84 is the cargo stuff.
They're retarded.
Shoot the handicapped.
Yes. Yes.
Still,
Go up on the roof. You are mentally dead.
too much concentrated in this building.
I'm always mentally dead.
Guys,
Southwest.
southwest.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's Turkish. Fucking enemy. Pale green is enemy. Khaki is friendly. Yeah, yeah. Just fucking hose him. Hose him.
Okay.
Yep.
Two down. Having a friend would have been really useful right about now, yeah.
Well, we have a Bren now. Just it's after the bulk of them have already come running down that road. Anyone that steps out into that area, Bridie, just fucking hose them. There shouldn't be any friendlies down there. Goddamn loot goblins! DMZ, get back here. DMZ! Fucking quit loot goblining!
No, I was checking if that was friendly.
Of course it's not friendly.
Turkish. They're Turkish.
Yeah, you can see the G3s from here. You can see the G3s from here. Fucking checking if they were friendly. Yeah, dude, okay. Okay, DMZ. I've been in 345th long enough to know every single excuse for fucking looting in combat. Alright? I've used half of them myself. Quick, close? Yeah, yeah, get him, get him! Bridie, fucking cut him. They're coming from the south as well. Stop edge, stop edge! Bridie, south! Back in! They're in the fucking building south, real close.
Oh, who's this down?
Alright, Bridie, keep watching down that street, man. Just if you hear me start freaking out, it means the guy on your left flank's reloading or down.
Did you not see that enemy that rounded the corner right there?
I was just AFK for a second.
Wow, there's literally a dead enemy at the bottom of the stairs.
I gotta say, our Ottoman buddies here are employing some interesting tactics, running piecemeal out of buildings one at a time.
We get rifles? What the fuck?
If they'd actually make a determined push, we'd be in trouble here.
Voice to southwest building.
West, down the alleyway. Left.
Courtyard! Yeah, that whole block to the southwest is full of them, but I don't have any fucking 2-inch to flatten it. Close! Stoppage. Back in. They're all in that fucking building. I can hear them yelling out to each other.
I see.
Yeah, they're in the windows.
I'm grabbing a bunch of grenades.
Clear my back. Clear my back. Clear my back.
Clear.
Fuck 'em. We'll do this the old-fashioned way. Did absolutely nothing.
A lot of shooting from the west.
I think one of ours picked up a G3. Good throw.
They're gonna fucking flatten that building.
Yeah, good, because that's where they're all fucking coming from. How am I doing on ammo? 7 mags. A couple of those will be partials, probably.
Oh, I need help. Any
Track ours.
Yeah. Where are you? I'm literally in this corner. In the building.
Upstairs.
I'm downstairs.
I'm going downstairs.
I'm coming to back you.
Right.
I recommend you keep some people with
some guns on the ground floor to keep an eye out.
I just need a pack.
Close! Left! Fuck me. We need just... Those buildings need to go away. More! Tree. Okay, if they're coming from there, I'll call tree. If they're coming from the fucking... near the brown building, I'll call south.
Yeah, thank you.
Combat comms is not my strong point, as you can tell. I have trouble fucking relating concepts to people without being overly fucking verbose at the best of times. Also, these are like absolutely not proper fire indications or whatever. Like, it'd be 50 meters southwest, reference tree, slight left. Something like that.
Voice south side.
Yeah, you reckon. You reckon.
I'm just reminding, just heard them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You don't have a backpack on.
Yeah, right, he dropped his invisible backpack.
Oh, on the road.
Road, Brady! Road!
Copy.
One to the left.
You're gonna be far, lads.
One. Start resupplying. Grab everything you can. Everything you need.
Brady, stay up. Somebody who isn't Brady, go get him some mags.
No, we haven't gone back.
Fuck, I'll do it. Now they start abandoning their fucking scope rifles. Alright, hey, I've got Bren ammo. Where'd Brady go?
I think the guy who needs it just...
Brady, come upstairs, I got mags for you.
We're going?
I'll drop them on the ground for you.
be shortly, as soon as our Land Rover gets here. Under 1, do you read?
There's a road that leads south, and then there you go. There's a dot on a crossroad. We're taking that crossroad.
6 mags on the floor under me. I'll hold on to the rest since you don't have a backpack. Fuck me, there was a Turk at the bottom of the stairs. I'll get someone else to pick him up, because I've got to keep some space in my backpack in case I find more mortar ammo. Can I... Fuck's sake! Close. In the fucking white building again.
Wow. In the house southwest.
Just northwest of your current position. You can see it.
These fucking cunts. Oh, was I? No, I'm not leading.
On the fence again, the same place last time, right?
Another one of those, and then a bunch of these.
Yep, that guy's there. So.
I'm gonna cross the road for a second, cover me. I'm gonna cross the road for a second, cover me.
Yeah, covering.
That was a bad idea. I think I got shot from behind because they were on that side of the road too. I'm also surprised that fucking second grenade didn't bounce. Usually when you try and throw shit through broken windows, it fucking finds an invisible hitbox to stonk off of and hit you in the face. Yeah, Swedish K. Carl Gustav M76, I think it is.
Ah, fuck.
I got you covered. Go.
Thank you. There's one around that corner, just to your left.
I hid it behind the building.
Ground floor. Everyone on me, everyone on me. Get him inside,
Alright, drop him, take him.
I genuinely hope this mission runs over time because I'm having so much fucking fun with this stupid little fucking tube. Both stupid little fucking tubes, actually.
Bandage again.
Yep, same it.
Needs more F102? Agreed.
Now
Fucking agreed. There is an F106 mod in the works for DCS, but it's just VSN, I think. So it's an F106 mod taken from something else, probably like Flight Sim or some shit. It might even be custom done, I don't know, but I think it's a port from Flight Sim, like FSX, that is. P3D, X-Plane, whatever. It probably has a fucked flight model, like pretty much all the VSN mods. I don't know if any of the weapons work, since, you know, my fucking AIM-4, which isn't even supported in DCS, but... Hey, at least it shows people want one. The more proof we have that people desperately want a 106, the more chance that someone will finally cave in and do one.
Working on it. Fuck's sake. Drop this shit.
Please hurry up.
I'm gonna go.
I'm covering.
Also, we need one for Mizfizz. I got a bunch of stuff I want to do next Mizfizz stream, which will probably just be next stream. So, like I said, we're looking at Thursday my time for that. I could say Tuesday's, like, as in tomorrow is a possibility, because I have the day off tomorrow, but I want to spend as much of that as possible catching up on assessments, like, rather than literally leaving them till the last minute. I will leave them to the second last minute, which is an improvement, right? But we'll see. Probably Thursday, like 90-something% chance it'll be Thursday. But I want to fly the Blériot, which I finally flew for the first time the other day in the sim. So there's two versions of the Blériot. One is, well, actually there's like three, but one of them's a re-engine, and then one of them's the RIP edition, the RIP edition. It's got a little skull and crossbones and stuff. It's like, oh my god, it's super hard to fly. It's not super hard to fly, dude. If you have, like... If you're able to use your feet, or even if you're not, like, say your feet don't work... if you have a twist stick, like, if you have fucking functional stick and rudder skills, The Bolero is pretty easy to fly. You just got to mind that you don't fly it into nasty weather because it gets thrown around a lot. It uses wing warping for roll control, so there's like a really bad delay on the roll, and also like it's not very effective. The rudder's way more overpowering than the wing warping is, but it's pretty easy to fly. It's very slow, as you might imagine, but it's quite a cool plane, and quite a historic, important plane. I'm not going to commit to doing the cross-channel flight in that thing, because, I mean, I could, it'll just take fucking forever. But we... Oh, maybe we could. The channel's not that wide, maybe we could. Was it like 20 miles? 18 miles? Something like that? Take off from fucking Hawkinge or Lim. Actually, Hawkinge doesn't exist anymore. It's a housing estate, so I might not be able to. Don't know if Limney still exists.
I might as well leave them there.
Who knows? Maybe.
Where my ammo at? I need fucking 2-inch. 2 inches stored in the balls. Where is it? Where the fuck is the ammo crate? Not in there. No, it's not in there.
Alec, can I take my squad over there? Can I take that with 170? Shush up.
I love when people learn that lesson.
No, it should be next time. Usually changes on the new game.
Something worth the wait, maybe? Or...
What's the dilemma here?
Oh,
What's...
I know. You put your backpack on your front. So if
you know what, that might be it.
Yeah. If you get self-actions equipment and then put backpack on back.
I still don't see it.
Yeah, that's fucking it.
Oh man. Oh, is it an invisible backpack? Is that what we have?
A backpack, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was on his front, but it was invisible.
Wow. It's still interesting that after relog you still
how did you realize
have
that?
that.
Watch them take a turn and just drive right in front of us.
I like the two of you with binoculars standing right here at a gap in the fence.
Well, anyway, you know for next time.
Beautiful target. Is there ammo there, DMZ?
I checked around the whole factory.
Motherfucker!
It's like when you fall in love and then there's
Fuck!
no road, right?
Yeah.
Look, I can make it up to you. I can give you a second ball if you want.
No, man, fucking 66 is a fucking dime a dozen. It's true love between me and the 2-inch. You know, sometimes all you need in your life is just a little 2-inch fucking hard tube. To shoot fucking hot loads out of.
I don't see ammo crates up here, but
You know, you just hold it just the right way. Make sure that you're not gonna fucking splatter all over the ceiling above you.
Each squad get into a Land Rover. Mount up, mount up, mount up.
Which one are you getting in?
Try to stay with your squad.
What?
Oh, that was painful.
Where are we going?
You're telling me about I got shot 3 times.
Rockets land, we're heading south and getting on that road and beelining it towards the
I don't know why I didn't.
The binoculars are a fucking status symbol, so he's walking around with them.
I was down we realised that I didn't have a backpack.
The Gundam.
Yeah, well, at least you know now. If you don't have a backpack on, it's probably on your front.
There's 2 more 66s in this thing if anyone's got some weight to spare.
What's the point in that? Like, why put a backpack on your front? Is it so you can carry 2 backpacks?
Also, reminder, you can... No, it's for when you got a parachute. You can fucking fit 2 wars in these backpacks, I think. 1 at least, but I think 2.
We're currently on Andre 1, right?
What?
We're currently on Andre 1, correct?
Yeah, we are at Hill 153.
Yeah, so I have to head west, southwest, off the hill and onto the road.
Airstrike in 30 seconds. As soon as it hits, we're moving.
I like how... I assume Grim has done this. All of us either have glasses or have a moustache. Very based.
Go, go, go.
Fucking dad's army hours right here.
Fuck it, I'll go then.
I can't put a bayonet on this though. I can't give him the old cold steel. I'm reliably informed they don't like it up him. Yo, can you not do that again? I'm having flashbacks to the time the first time I rode in a Jeep. The second time I rode in a Jeep, we were just worried it would break down. The first time I rode in a Jeep, we nearly fucking died.
Andre 1, we're gonna check that this was effective on target. Hold. Get ready to dismount.
Landies, I trust. Jeeps, not... Oh! What? Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh man! What era is this supposed to be? The mid-70s. That was incredible.
Frowny face.
Why, just 2 seconds after I said we're dead.
I would like to point out that I followed the platoon's commands exactly. This is all the fault of the second vehicle.
I thought we got armored, because I just saw the Jeep, like, ascend to orbit before I blacked out with, like, every bone in my body broken.
I mean, I stopped a second past, and then the entire vehicle went destroyed. I didn't even see the second vehicle.
Thank you all for coming, you know, the regular stuff.
Thanks for the mission. It was shitloads of fun. And Grim, thank you personally for persuading me to be the 2-inch trooper. That was fucking amazing.
Glad someone liked it. Over.
Hang on, guys. I need to
though,
add a scene to
short
this. I actually got round to adding yet another background slide. How about that? Hey, there we go. Yeah, I've had that for fucking, like, over a year, Gurn. Veritech made it for me. Like, ages ago.
Wow, that was epic.
I know, yeah.
That was fucking
Right
awesome.
in the back as well.
Hold! Boom!
I actually died. I'm like, okay, how many people died?
I
And
broke my legs.
Only Alec got out. I don't know. Bradley fell out.
I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, I was still alive on the floor.
And I saw the second vehicle went airborne, crossed the road, and landed 200 meters in front. In some bushes with the rest of the people. And Alec got out, he was like yelling and calling on the radio. Then the secondary explosion happened on our vehicle, and he also died.
Epic.
It has to happen on occasion, I think. Like a mass gas at the end of the mission. Yeah. Anyway, it was fun. See you guys later.
Same. Cheers to the resub, Garfield.
And then I turned to the right, and another Jeep's right up his arse.
Catch you guys next week.
I expected this to happen.
Disconnected.
I'm going to chuck on some tunes for just a moment while we set this up. Fingers crossed, inshallah, it will actually go through the right fucking audio channel and I won't get fucked. Ha, who am I kidding? I'll get fucked. Huh? Yep, there it goes. What? Man, what the fuck with this shit? Now it goes through the right channel. The first song always goes through the wrong fucking channel now. Like, what the shit? Okay, well I guess it really didn't want us to listen to ABBA today, so there we go. Even though we were using a Swedish gun. It's a pretty good song. Look, I'm rather partial to Mita's Murder. I might be slightly biased because I had a brief vegetarian phase when I was like 6 years old. Didn't last that long, but you know, It's something. But I don't know, something about that song. Like, it's dark and fucking menacing and, like, I like that shit. It's good. I don't think there's really many Smith songs I actually dislike, or, like, don't really like, but that one's probably up near the top. There's a bunch that are up there, though. Morrissey is, I think, the one musician I've actually seen. I mean, I've been to the rehearsals for the Edinburgh Military Tattoo Live. I've been to a couple of military tattoos live, actually. That was the rehearsals when they came down to Australia to do it. I haven't been to the actual one in the castle. But the only musician I've actually seen live, other than, like, people playing in pubs and stuff, is Morrissey. And it was a very Morrissey kind of night. Like, it was everything I expected, including him having a massive fucking ego and closing out the set with a very bizarre rendition of Judy as a Punk. Like, when Morrissey does Judy as a Punk, you don't realize what you're listening to until several weeks later. Alright, so I have, shit, we ended early, so I've got almost 2 hours before class. How soon is now, or why don't you find out by yourself for me? How soon is now is really good. I also have a very, very big, special, soft spot for fucking... I haven't taken my meds yet. I just forgot the name of it. Literally, I'm talking about the song because its name popped into my head, and then its name popped out of my head. Fucking, shit! There's a light that never goes out. Thank you. Fucking finally. Jesus Christ. I'm one of those fucking hopeless romantic idiots, even though I'm well aware of how bullshit and made up, like, most of the common social perception of that shit is, so... No, I know, right? Well, to be fair, I haven't actually, like... The Smiths is one of those bands that I love, but I hadn't listened to for a long time, like... Until I put some of their songs on the playlist. I hadn't heard some of their songs for years. Because a lot of the time I'll go through phases, or I'll get hooked on a particular band or a particular genre, for example. And especially now because I stream, like, most of the music I hear when I'm not in the car or whatever is my stream playlist. So if it's not on that, I don't hear it as much as I used to. Like, it used to be the case I'd be listening to music 24/7 while I'm doing anything, but now it's less so. Or I'm playing more games which actually have bomb-ass soundtracks, like, I don't know, Gonna Hate PC. Just a bit of spruiking there. So I don't have music on as much while I'm playing games anymore. Or like DCS where I'm... Well, DCS I have it on usually. But anyway, I was heavily listening to the Smiths during a particular period of my life, which... wasn't one that was bad or that I want to forget. It's more like it makes me very, like, nostalgic for it, so... I try not to, like, fall into a Smiths hole, otherwise I'll be like, shit, I wish I could go back to that. TCS, Funk, and Apache for me, that's a good mix. That is a good mix. Goes together well. Finally got my spotting down for DCS, and I've ordered a VR headset, so I won't see shit again. Excellently planned. Well done. The annoying thing is, I'm feeling like some Misfizz today, but it's like, I can't, because the sim will take so long to launch that I will have maybe 5-10 minutes before I have to go to class. And besides which, it's Misfizz, like, 2 hours is the minimum I will give myself for a flight in that game. I've been doing a lot of DC3 stuff off-stream. Just remove the scenery. No. In fact, as you say that, in the background while the stream's been running, I took my life in my hands and left my browser open while I was playing ArmA and streaming it. I've got fs.to open on landscapes, and I've just been, like, fucking mainlining that shit into my veins all night. But I've been doing a lot of DC3 stuff. I recently did the most recent one I did was a flight from Warnervale Aerodrome. There used to be a DC3 park there when I was a kid. I don't know if it's still there. It hadn't flown for years when I last saw it. I was in the Australian Air League for a little while, which is like, it's not the Air Force cadets, it's like a civilian kind of version that feeds into the Air Force, but also feeds into the airlines and stuff. I was in that for a while because one of my friends was in it, and I was like, oh, they like planes, I like planes, that's cool. But like our local command structure was a bit, there was some nepotism going on, and the CO's son was a leading cadet, and he was also a bit of a cunt. So I was only in that for a bit, but one of the things we did was we went to Warnervale Aerodrome and went up for Civil Air Patrol. I think that'd be the closest equivalent in the US. We went out to Warnervale, and that was my first flight in a light aircraft, actually. We went up for a fly in a Cessna something. I don't remember if it was 152 or 172 or 182, whatever. It was a Cessna. Single engine, light Cessna. So me and I think two of my mates went up at a time, and obviously wasn't flying because I was like fucking, I don't know, 10 years old at the time, something like that, but riding along in it. So that was my first experience of a light aircraft. I've been in airliners like literally all my life, so you know, being in an airline is nothing new to me. I think my first flight in one of those, I was 6 months old. But being in a light aircraft was totally new to me, so that was cool. I finally got the perspective of how it feels to be thrown around by the wind even more, because even in an airliner you get thrown around, but boy, in a fucking light plane you really feel it, contrary to popular Misfits forums belief. So, yeah, we went out there and went up for a flight, but mostly, like, the Cessna flight was cool, but I was mostly just crawling all over the fucking DC-3. I wanted to get into it, but I was all locked up and decrepit and shit. So anyway, I did a flight in Misfits from Warnervale Aerodrome in a Trans-Australia Airways livery, which is one of the official ones that Airplane Heaven just released recently. For free, by the way. Unlike some. And I flew VFR, because it's me, I don't do proper nav in the sim. I should, but I don't. So I flew down to Terrigal, the Skillion at Terrigal was my first sort of waypoint. Buzzed that. It actually looked like Terrigal itself looks kind of shit in the sim because it's just autogen, and like it turned the fucking Crown Plaza into a big fucking weirdly shaped warehouse. It does that with a lot of large buildings, but the Skillion and like the beach itself looked pretty cool. So past Skillion, followed the actual coast past Brisbane Water, you know, kind of glanced out my right window at one of the places I used to live where I used to go to school and shit like that. And then second waypoint was Barrenjoey Head. So as I passed over Barrenjoey Head, didn't notice that the lighthouse was there. I don't think it was. I swung a little further to the southwest-ish. Ended up, next waypoint was Parramatta. So kind of over Hornsby, fucking all through there, over Para, Carlingford, Para. Once I was over Parramatta, kicked it out a little more. Over, I think, Liverpool? Question mark? But I basically flew down the valley between Holsworthy and the actual like edge of the Blue Mountains, and just followed that past a bunch of places I don't know the names of, because like anything southwest of Holsworthy is outside my situational awareness until you hit Goulburn, and Goulburn was my next nav fix, so I passed over Goulburn, recognized it pretty easily. And from there I could just see the edge of Lake George, which in the sim is full of water. In real life it recently has been, but it's probably not anymore. Turned for Lake George, tracked down the east side of that, past I think like a zinc mine or a tin mine or something, which Mum did the environmental impact statement for back in her youth. And then swung right over my house and landed at, well, my current place, and landed in Canberra. It's a wonderful little flight. Took about, I want to say, 2 hours-ish. Got some well, some. I got a couple hundred screenshots. And the flight before that I'd done in the DC-3 was from a... I don't know if it was like a Army Air Force strip, like an old pre-US Air Force strip, but it was a triangle strip. You don't see those often in the US. You see them in Canada because Commonwealth country, but you don't see triangle strips that often in the US. So I wonder. There's a couple of them in that part of Arizona. Anyway, yeah, Arizona, because I was down by Yuma. I was like in the sort of valley to the east-northeast of Yuma. Took off from this place. The sim didn't register it as an airstrip, so I had to spawn in a farmer's field, which the sim does register as an airstrip, even though it's plainly not. And then just slewed my way over there, started the aircraft from cold and dark, took off from that. I was a little worried I was going to hit some nasty bumps or invisible bushes or something, but we got away with it, it was fine. Took off from there, swung out over Yuma, went past the TARS radar. So TARS, and there's a mod I've got for it, so it is rendered in the sim. It's a blimp, and it's got a fucking big-ass surveillance radar under it. That's what they use to spot drug runners and you know, people trying to cross the border. Unfortunately, people who have good reasons to cross the border as well, but, you know, it is what it is. And that was kind of, I think that's part of the Yuma Proving Ground, or it's on the edge of it or something. So over the Yuma Proving Ground, under that thing, which is like fucking 20-odd thousand feet in the air, maybe even more. So I had to watch I didn't hit the cable because I was pretty close to it. There's a big-ass fucking restriction around it for that reason, which I, of course, ignored because it's the sim, who cares? And then I just flew up through the desert past fucking... Where'd I go past? A bunch of towns in Arizona I did know the names of, but I've forgotten. I did go over... Well, I kind of went just to the west of Sedona. I recognized it as I passed. I'm like, oh, there's Sedona down there. So I went past that, passed over Flagstaff, I think it is, next to the big mountain. That mountain was the last high terrain I had to clear until basically I got to Glen Canyon, which is where I landed. I landed at Page Airport, which is right next to Glen Canyon. And by the time I got to... Like, by the time I passed Flagstaff, it was sunset. And by the time I hit Glen Canyon, it had just gone last light, so did a nice night landing. Then taxied over to the apron, shut down, was just about to take a bunch of beautiful screenshots with all the kit and caboodle around the aircraft, and I bumped a key which did something, and the something was yeet me back in the air a couple fucking thousand feet immediately, which overstressed the aircraft and ended the flight. So that was cool. But no, it was a wonderful little flight. I had a lot of fun with it. I say a lot of fun. I was basically just doing nothing, but it was a really nice view. I said I was going to set something else up here, and I'm running out of time, relatively speaking. I kind of feel like just chatting, but I also kind of don't. We could do some Refrogger, I guess. I just don't want to get, like... I don't want to do something I'm going to get super engrossed in and miss class again, because this is the last class for this... this subject, and then there's one more class for fucking case management, which is an assessment, which I'm not prepared for at all. That's going to be great. What I will do, actually, I'm sorry guys, but what I will do is I'll go make myself another cup of tea, and I will actually take my meds before I forget, because I've been really bad with remembering that lately. Even though I'm talking like I have taken them, I'm forgetting like I haven't, so... Sorry, not sorry, Altabar. I should too later. Like, it has been way too long. The whole of 2015 for me was like, the first several months of 2015 was just Joy Division. Literally just nothing but Joy Division. Then it became Joy Division and New Order. Then it became Joy Division, New Order, and The Smiths. Because, like, that's all stuff that I grew up listening to. Like, I lived like I showed at length in the previous Misfits stream, I used to live up, you know, about 15, 20 miles out of Manchester. We'd go into there every week, every couple of days sometimes. So that's the music I grew up listening to. And a lot of it you don't hear out here on the radio. Like, even if you listen to the stations that usually play that kind of stuff, you don't hear it much. So it was kind of fun, rediscovering all the music of my youth, so to speak, after years and years of not hearing it. Like, my favorite song as a kid was Come On Eileen, you know, by Dexy's Midnight Runners. And I didn't hear that for probably about 5 or 6 years after we moved to Australia. Just never heard it. I don't know how, because it's such a popular song even now here. Like, I don't know how I just was unlucky enough to never be listening to the radio, I guess, at the right time. But the first time I did hear it here was on the way to school one morning, and I was so happy I just about fucking cried when I heard it on the radio. There's a lot of songs like that. I'll hear it and I'm like, that sounds so familiar. And then I realize, like, I used to love this as a kid. I used to listen to this all the fucking time. And then I'd binge on it for several months. Just to catch up, you know. Actually, looking at that slide right there of Pripyat's, I need to do some more Stalker sometime soon. I almost want to say we could do some today, but I feel like I should probably set up a proper save for it or something. Had the same thing with Nightwish. I didn't really used to listen to... Well, I don't think I ever really listened to Nightwish until I started playing IL-2, the original IL-2, that is. Because the entire IL-2 community was a hive mind, and they all listened to Nightwish. All of them. And, like, every IL-2 fucking video was Nightwish. So that's where I became familiar with them from, was original IL-2. This one, VNV Nation, I hadn't heard them for years. I used to listen to them a lot, like, 10 years ago. And then just, like, stopped for some reason. A lot of the time, if I'd, like, you know, aside from moving country and obvious differences in musical taste or what they play on the radio or whatever affecting it, a lot of the time I just won't listen to a song for years because I kind of get distracted from it and then I forget it exists or something. But it's a song I love, and then I rediscover it and I'm like, oh, damn. My legs are okay, but I need... You gain Bruzov. That is such a good game. Gurn, seriously, we will do that. I'm not sure when, man. I feel like probably January would be the best time for me, because I'm like 90% sure my classes follow the school holidays. So the school holidays here last until the end of January, like literally 28th of January, 27th, something like that. It's after Australia Day. Because, you know, summer is at the start and end of the year here, not the middle of it like in the Northern Hemisphere. So we get our Christmas and summer holidays rolled into one. And then it gets extended out because Australia Day is so close, you may as well just not come off holiday until afterwards. Guess who just released the B29 and B50 pack? Nice. I've got to bind up my new shit for 46. I don't think I played it since I got the Connie. Follow magenta line symbol. Child of the magenta line, yeah. I mean, I do that occasionally, but I don't even do that most of the time. Like, I will not even... I might glance at the little VFR map from time to time just to get a general sense of the landmarks around me, because I don't have charts on hand. Like, if I had charts on hand, I wouldn't even open that. And I know, yes, there's things you can do to have chart... Like, you guys know me. I am badly organized, and tabbing out causes multiple things to go wrong, so I generally don't like having windows or tabs are open while I'm streaming. Or tabbing out to open stuff. Which is like every other person that plays Flight Sim has like 50 different fucking things going on at the same time they're streaming Flight Sim, but not me. Navigraph on tablet? I don't have a tablet. And I use my phone for my Twitch alerts because I don't come through on my my chat bot, even though I've tried multiple times to make that work. If it's an area I'm familiar with, I don't even need that. Like the flight I did down the coast, like the one I spoke about where I landed in Canberra, I took off from Warnervale, I didn't need to open the map once. I knew where I was the whole time. Like, I can literally VFR that entire stretch. I can go basically from Nelson Bay probably is the furthest north I can VFR from. From Nelson Bay, as far south as basically Canberra, and as far west as, I don't know, like Orange or something, probably further. Like, most of New South Wales I can fly VFR, and even if I'm temporarily lost, it won't take me long to find a landmark I recognise. In fact, if I had done that flight from Nelson Bay instead of from Warnervale, I think there's an airfield up there somewhere. Obviously there's Williamtown, but if I'd done a flight from Nelson Bay somewhere or Williamtown or whatever and flown south from there to Canberra, I would have passed over every house I've lived in Australia, every school I've gone to in Australia, every relative in Australia, like, that I know, like immediate relatives. Like, my entire life within this country is contained within a small parcel of the east coast of New South Wales and as far west as Bathurst, basically. Versus everywhere else in the world I've lived, where it's like scattered from fucking asshole to breakfast. It's all nicely concentrated around one part of Australia. I've never actually been to most of this country. I've only been interstate. We're not counting the ACT because the ACT is a territory and also it's inside New South Wales. But I have never been interstate as an adult. I've been to Queensland as like a literal baby. So I have no recollection of it. I've been up near the Queensland border since then. Couple times, once or twice, because Dad used to dive up there, and then once for a mate's birthday, but I haven't been to Victoria even. I keep wanting to go to Melbourne. I got mates down there, and I want to see Point Cook and Moorabbin and all the cool aviation museums down there, but I just have never got around to it. One day. Oh, fuck, I love this song. Okay, I'm going to fetch my tea, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do. Hurricane is one of those songs I just spoke about, by the way. I hadn't heard this for fucking years. I used to binge listen to Bob Dylan as a kid. Like when I was 9, 10-ish, I had a really massive Bob Dylan phase. Rolling Stone was my favorite song for like a good year or so. But I hadn't heard this for so long. And then I was watching CCM stream, and I heard it, I was like, oh my fucking god, thank you so much. That is going on my playlist because I have not heard that for too long. So if any CCM viewers here are noticing some similarities in playlists, that's deliberate. I hear something on his stream that I'm like, I used to love that song. Why is it not on my playlist? And I quickly go and add it. In fact, you know what I just realized? Rather than starting up a whole new game, which I will inevitably either have to quit before I want to, or I'll get overly engrossed in it and miss class, let's boot ArmA back up, because I have something I want to talk about in ArmA. It's gonna heat PC related, so... GH PC fans, stick around, listen in. Hey Fenrir, good to see you, man. Working and working. I will be learning, air quotes, ostensibly working, in not too long myself, so it's a short stream today. Hopefully the last short stream of the year, and then for the next month or two I should be able to do my usual length whenever I want. Fingers crossed. Has there been any dev news on that Bush Pilot game Dead Stick? Last I heard, somebody else started developing a competitor because Dead Stick was taking too long, and also the whole premise of it has kind of fallen off the fucking train because Misfizz exists. I don't think anyone really expected Asobo to pull through as well as they have. Like, I think everyone kind of expected it to just be like, oh, you know, it's going to be FSX with better graphics, or it's going to be, you know, like the flight model won't still be as good as X-Plane, so Bush Pilot shit's going to be crap. It's like, oh, that was a bad bet to make, because, like, Misfizz exists. It is the Bush Pilot sim. Like, the Bush Pilot sim. There is nothing that can step to it. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm trying to be impartial here. Like, what are you going to compete with? Oh, you're going to give me a couple of little scenarios in a, you know, like pre-baked parts of the world, maybe based off like, no, dude, I can fly literally anywhere on Earth. And if the airport doesn't, or if the bush strip doesn't exist in the sim, some mad lad has gone and released a free fucking version of it on .to. Like, Misfizz has basically killed the market for any sort of bush pilot sim, any sort of, like, helicopter sim, if they keep on the way that they started with the gimbal. The 407's flight dynamics aren't that great, if I'm honest. Like, Nemeth kind of dropped the ball on that, but Nemeth also are one of those devs who did a lot of work with the older sims, and I don't think they've ever updated their sort of way of doing things. So, yeah, like, it's... I don't know, dude. I don't know how anyone's going to compete with it. It's going to be hard. I haven't actually checked out this map yet, so we're going to do something different. I know we're still on the BRB screen. Mutambara. It's like a Africa-themed map, I think, and we haven't used it yet, as far as I'm aware. It gives me nice wide open spaces to show off what I want to show off. Digital transit simulator. You say that, but there's, like, people are making speedboat mods. People are making car mods. I'm quite certain sooner or later someone's going to make fucking working trains. And that's the point where it's just going to be over for everybody else. Did you find out where you got that pop-in / LOD lag choke in ArmA? It was specifically in Prairie Fire. So it's, I don't know if it's something to do with the way their maps are vis-leafed, or it's like it's just overloading my GPU with my graphics settings set to what they are. But Grim said, like, his pro tip was just set visibility range at like 2 kilometers or less, because you're not going to see past that anyway, because jungle. And that seemed to resolve the worst of the problems. So I just need to remember when we do Vietnam stuff in Prairie Fire, particularly on the actual Prairie Fire official maps, to just drop my vis range down to like 2 kilometers or something. We have a nice add-on where I just have to, like, instead of changing my actual graphic settings, we have an add-on that lets you adjust vision range on the fly. So I can just use that. Used to get it on Livonia in the Germany Cold War map. I don't think I've had it on those maps. Livonia has been really good for me, actually. I think Livonia always ran well, even on Beepsky Mark 1. But yeah, like the Well, mind you, on Beepsky Mark 1, my default visibility range is also turned down much more. On Beepsky Mark 2, I think I have it maxed. So, like, ArmA 3 should be drawing out to, like, 10 kilometers or whatever it is by default. And then I just use that in-game menu to drop it below that. And Right, I forgot to change scenes. Hang on. Sorry, I'm scuffed today. We're going to... I don't know. Do I want the cam for explaining this? I probably should have the cam, because you'd think I was fucking Italian with how much I speak with my hands, but... Although they're usually out of frame anyway. Fuck it, let's go. This one, because I want to make sure that I'm not blocking any of the user interface or any of the gun sight. I should be okay with this one. If I'm on the... I think the bottom right would work too, where I usually am, but whatever, this works. I know we don't see the game yet. Give me a moment. Scuffed stream. I haven't opened the editor in forever. So this is Mutambara. I want to find somewhere... How big is this map to start with? It's relative... Oh, it's a tiny little map. Little baby map. These are really good... Oh, fuck. Not that key. I'm trying to do fucking Gunner Heat PC free cam keys here. Maps of this scale are usually really good for infantry stuff because you can work in more micro terrain. However, having literally just said that, I feel like this might be an ArmA 2 port, or it was designed with ArmA 2 level of resolution in mind. I don't know, maybe it's a real place and they use real life DEM, but it's low res. Like, not the ground textures. I don't give two shits about the ground textures because you don't notice them when you're... You know, when your camera heights this, you don't see ground textures that are tiled or pixelated or whatever. Not a problem. But what I'm referring to is, like, this gully. This feels like it should be an actual, like, ravine or dry creek bed or something. It's, like, a really... It's barely even a gully. You know what I mean? Like, when I say micro-terrain, you saw it, even on Altus. Altus was the first ArmA map, like, especially official ArmA map, that really gave you that micro-terrain. Really narrow gullies, irrigation canals, shit like that, where a single infantry squad can really take effective cover in dead ground. This map is the kind of size where you can afford to splash out on fucking terrain polygons. Like, you can really throw shit at the game when you've got a map this small. But, yeah, I mean, it's meant to be Africa, so maybe they used real-world DEM, because I know that the satellite imagery and like, DEM for Africa tends to be kind of dog shit, because, you know, the people who can afford to put satellites in space only care about Africa when they want to go invade part of it or bomb it. But I feel like they could have done more with this terrain. Like, that could have been steeper and more rugged. There could be more gullies and more things like that. You really need that for infantry gameplay. So the map, like, it looks alright. We could totally use this in 345th. And, like, this sort of moderate vegetation, you know, this would probably be called your light green in Vietnam War Australian slang. You know, I Was Only 19, the official name of that song is A Walk in the Light Green, because light green areas on military maps are, you know, moderately to sparsely vegetated, the ideal ambush territory. Heavy jungle's shit for ambushes, because you're as likely to walk into the enemy as them walk into you. Like, jungle fighting is a whole... You need to be a fucking wizard to be good at jungle fighting. It's a whole separate skill set, which the Australian Army specialised in for quite a long time, probably still does to an extent. But, like, this kind of terrain, where you've got broken foliage cover, but there's still foliage cover, so you can still conceal, you can still ambush people, but there's not a lot of cover for them to get to, and you won't bump into them quite so easily. Like, there's plenty of places to hide traps without walking into your own fucking mines, stuff like that. This would probably be light green or pretty close to it. This is ideal guerrilla warfare territory. But like I said, I'd like more micro-terrain. I do like the way the towns are done, though. Like, this looks pretty authentic for, like, some random, relatively undeveloped part of Africa. Fucking Angola or something. We could totally do missions on this. I assume someone plans to. That'd be why it's in the mod pack, but... I just feel like with the size this map is, the map maker could have used that a bit more to get some more terrain detail in. Okay, well, this wasn't meant to be a map tour, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to just fire up a new scenario. I haven't looked at, like, the majority of these new maps that we've got in the mod pack. to be honest. Let's go on fucking Livonia, because I really like Livonia. I don't play it enough. Altus is good tank country. Altus is full of good tank country, so it's really good for demonstrating tank stuff, but Livonia is not bad up towards the northern half. Use a terrain editor tool. Oh yeah, we have that now, I forgot. You're right. You're right. I completely forgot we have that. That is such a fucking game changer, dude. Like, you can build some amazing positions with that thing. Makes me want to poke Stella and see if she'll make some missions. Maybe even just for my community or something. I don't know if she wants to put up the stress of doing anything with 345th at this point, but Stella did the second Afghan campaign. Or like the... I think Stella actually ran the campaign. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. I know she did all the map for it. So she took an existing Afghan map, but it was like modern Afghanistan. And she stripped out all the modern stuff. She built like entire new villages, got rid of others. She made it feel like 1980s Afghanistan. And added like a shit ton of detail. Stella must be able to do incredible things with that terrain deformation tool, but I haven't actually seen any of her missions recently. See, in the editor, I'm getting shitty as fuck frames. We did have another mod which added really heavy fog in the editor, so this wouldn't be an issue, but I don't know if it's in the mod pack anymore. It's also possible... Oh, no, it's fine now. It was probably just loading in. It's probably fine now it's loaded. I love this song. Let's just... We're not going to do any actual real combat, probably. Let's just spawn. Sorry, my brain's super slow. You guys didn't see me take one of these, right? That's why I got a cup of tea. This is what happens. I get distracted between sitting down with my cup of tea and actually taking my meds, and I forget to take them. Like, that is how bad my ADHD is. This is a fucking scheduled drug. If my prescription for this shit runs out and I still possess it, it would be illegal possession of a fucking... Was it Class A? Fucking... I don't know. Because it's addictive, right? Ooh, it's addictive. Well, I missed that memo, apparently. I did? You were playing with it open. Fuck. Shit. I need one of those boxes with the days of the week on it. I'll buy one this week. Because this is the problem. I can't remember if I've taken it or not, and I always err on the side of caution. So if you saw me playing with this, 2 of these would put me like 30 mil over the max dose, so I ain't fucking with that. If I forgot to take it, then whatever. Don't fuck around with that shit, because it, like... Yeah, it's microdosing compared to people who actually do meth recreationally, but you don't want to do that, especially if you're kind of sketchy on your circulatory system. Gunnies. 345th Tank Ops right there. What am I looking for? RHS. Russia TV. Tankovi Voisk. Is it Tankovi Voisk? Tankovi Voiska? Fucking Russian grammar, I hate it. I love it. It sounds beautiful, but it's a fucking pig to learn. Let's just go through all the T-80s. Why not? We can find ways to pad this out into an accidental 10-hour stream yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the commander playable instead of player. Yes, I know. That's my alarm to remind me to wake up. Playable. There we go. Sorry. I was practicing my Airbus pilot routine right there. I got to get some... Oop, not that. I want the tank, not the crew. I got to get some... fuck me. I got to get some pointers off Breedle. I gotta work on my... you got to get it right in the right part of the throat. So I can fit in with all the tubey people in Misfizz, pretend I'm one of them. Fuck, that's not what I want to do. Fuck, that's not what I want to do either. Being able to click and drag the individual crew members out of the tank is really cool, and edit them like in 3D like this, but the problem is, when you're, like, I can't use the term I usually refer to myself with because Twitch will not take kindly to it. When you are R-worded, like me, you click the wrong one every fucking time. I can't wait to see how long it takes the corpos to catch up with disabled people reclaiming terms that are, like, supposedly offensive. I don't know how common it is, like, in normie population, but, like, me, my sister's friends, all, like, because my sister's got a lot of autistic and or ADHD and or both friends, who knew people who are similar to each other tend to group together. And we all just sling around that word in self-referential terms. Yeah, so did I, but apparently not. Like, to be fair, I know it is still offensive to a lot of people because they were, like, teased as kids and that was the word that was used. I totally get that. I know a few people who, like, I won't say the word around because I know they're sensitive to it. Like, this is what fucks me, right? Like, how hard is it to just, like, especially if it's somebody you know and that you interact with regularly, how hard is it to just try and remember what people do and don't find offensive and just not use those words around them? Like, is that really so fucking difficult? Apparently it is. But I don't know if the reclaiming happened long ago, or if it's, like, it fell into common use long ago, because I know there was a pushback against it like, a couple of years ago. But, like I said, my social group and my sister's social group, which are basically the same thing at this point, because all my original friends are all up fucking Central Coast and Newcastle still. We just use the term self-referentially. And don't find it offensive. I mean, the thing for me is, and I'm not saying this as a fucking excuse for people to start slinging fucking gamer words around, because it's not. But, fuck, that's a good start. I'm not racist, but no, obviously don't go fucking using, like, full-on fucking racial slurs and shit. That's just no bueno. But, like, for most words that aren't, like, identifiably the only reason that word exists is as a fucking slur, like, it was formulated as a fucking slur, for words like that, it's contextual. Like, if somebody says the R word, with a hard D, I'm gonna figure out what the context is. If they're calling themselves one, it's not, you know, well, I mean, maybe some people would still see it as offensive, I don't. If they're calling somebody with an actual disability one, they can go fuck themselves, unless the person with the disability also refers to themselves that way and is okay with them saying it. Like, obviously. But, you know, like, for my own part, I don't want to sound like a basic white kid, but I'm about to. Especially when I was younger, I didn't really notice intellectual stuff in kids. Like, kids who had learning disabilities, to me, I would have to spend a little more time talking them through how to do something, but that didn't bother me. And it didn't register as like, oh, there's something different about them. It's just like, yeah, people learn things differently, whatever. Like, I remember one time, it was actually not long after we moved to Australia, it was in Chatswood Chase. We went out for lunch after visiting Dad at work. And there was a kid and his mum sitting at the table next to us in the food court, and Mum went off to order lunch, whatever it was, Macca's or something. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this kid, and I'm having a great conversation with him. We went through all these topics that I was really interested in. Like, I had a great little chat with him. And then after they left and it was just me and Mum sitting there, she's like, did you notice anything different about him? Like, just sort of curiously, like, did you notice anything different about him? Like, you know, was there anything? I'm like, not really. She's like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, why? Oh, I think he had Down syndrome. Like, maybe, I don't fucking know. We had a good chat. I don't care either way. Like, you know, and especially because I'm on the fucking, I'm still on the visible light portion apparently, but I'm on the spectrum very well and truly. I had friends when I was a kid who were further down than me, and like I had one particular friend from school who, she was pretty normie, but her brother was like, right on the sort of boundary of what they would call previously low functioning, which I think is a shit term anyway, because I'm low functioning in terms of being a responsible adult, but I'm high functioning in terms of everything else. Like, socially, Once I get talking to someone socially, I'm probably better off than most normies because I pick up on things that they don't. Because I had to learn to mask as a kid, so I know like all these little subtle things that normies miss. It's why my fucking danger detector is so good. Like I can spot, you know, manipulative people and shit really easily. But yeah, like I didn't notice apparently. Because it didn't make a difference to me. We had an interesting chat. Like, the fuck do I care if he's got this or that? Not, you know, it's not affecting me in any way. I'm supposed to be showing you guys the T-80, aren't I? Where's the fucking play button? Did they move it? Or am I just... No, they didn't move it. I'm just dumb. I'm not going to set up targets or anything. Yeah, I mean, I do now. Oh. No? Shit? Fuck? Oh, I know why. You have to have an initial player slot for single player. Like I said, I haven't touched the editor for a while. So we'll set this guy player. It's nice on my new PC not having to wait for fucking 2 minutes after I double-click the first unit I've placed for this window to open after my PC freezes up. It just opens immediately now. I'm too used to DCS where you don't need a player slot, you can just have clients. ArmA, you always need a player slot for single player. I think for multiplayer it's all just clients. I think. Could be wrong. Could all be players. I fucking don't know. But yeah, like if I'm talking about somebody who has an actual legit intellectual learning whatever disability, I mean technically I have a learning disability, that's what ADHD is. But I'm not gonna use that word. I'm not gonna use words that are perceived as offensive. I'm not even gonna say, oh, they're disabled. I'm gonna say, oh, they have ADHD, or, you know, they have this, or they have that. Technically, because this is a thing we've studied in class, you're not even supposed to say they have it, because that implies, like, it's their entire identity, or that's all they are, or something. Like, it depends on context, which is where the whole fucking discussion was going anyway. But, you know... Basically, my drive here is, context is everything. If somebody uses a word that is offensive, in a certain context, it shouldn't be offensive. And again, I'm not saying go out slinging gamer words around, like, don't. I know that a lot of people frown on it when somebody actually says the word when, like, trying to quote something, but personally, like, that doesn't necessarily bother me. I say this as a fucking white guy, so of course. But, you know what I mean? Like, when somebody just quotes a block of text and doesn't censor out the word, it's like you're quoting someone, whatever. Especially if it's like you're trying to quote someone to say, like, this guy's a really offensive piece of shit, look what he said, then yeah, like, why would you censor what they said? You want them to look like an offensive piece of shit. I don't know. I'm going nowhere with this. I don't want to say, oh, everyone gets offended so easily these days, ooh, snowflakes, because I'm going to be real with you. The people who say that shit are the worst fucking culprits. The people who carry on, oh, everyone's so easily offended these days are the most fucking snowflakey motherfuckers, cannot stand up to criticism in the slightest. Consistently. It's something I've noticed. It's like how every time somebody says, like, when somebody says pedophiles are bad, yeah, like, they are. When somebody makes their entire identity about, these people are... because I don't like them, I'm going to make them out to be pedophiles, and also, like, their entire identity is trying to make out, like, oh, all this bad stuff is happening to our kids, we got to protect our family. All those, like, family first type politicians, all of them, you notice how it's always them who get busted either having 20 different kids to, like, 15 different women, or they get caught after talking about how bad gays are. They get caught in, like, a massive fucking homosexual orgy and jump out the window to try and not be seen there by the press. It's always them. It's always them. I've said this in my Discord, like, a gazillion times by now, but the fucking doth protest too much is a hard and fast rule as far as I'm concerned. When somebody says this thing bad, especially if it's in a conversation where that's relevant, like, yeah, that's normal. When somebody makes their entire identity about this thing bad and takes it to just the most, like, ludicrous extremes, you know that they're covering for something. Like fucking Matt Gaetz. He's a fucking kiddie fiddler. He's a fucking child sex trafficker, right? That's exactly the point. Fucking Matt Walsh, that piece of shit. Like, fuck, I was a happier person a couple months ago when I didn't even know who that was, but that fucking guy, ooh, he talks about people being groomers, and then he goes on about how the age of consent should be lowered. Like, I'm telling you, man. I'm fucking telling you. Doth protest too much is a fucking hard and fast rule. When people carry on with shit like that and make it their whole fucking identity, you can tell they're exactly what they're fucking complaining about. So this is the T-80, the OG T-80. You may see we have a pretty shitty fire control system here. This is the, fuck, what is it? 1A20? 1A40? I think 1A40 is the one with the ATGM upgrade, so it might be 1A20. I don't remember for the T-72 fire control system, but this is the same fire control as the T-72. Not the initial T-72. Okay, this is complicated. So, the original T-64, right? The original T-64 and the T-64A. T-64 sans suffix, as in there wasn't a letter after it, because that's what the Soviets did. The first variant never had a letter after it, then the letters would appear. So whenever a Westerner says something A, they usually mean sans suffix. MiG-29A doesn't exist. Su-25A doesn't exist. It's just MiG-29. Su-25. If anything, you use the factory index. So for the MiG-29, that'd be 912. Anyway, Egg has got a wonderful instructional meme about this pinned somewhere in my Discord. I think it's in DCS resources. Egg is like a agitprop commissar for educating bluetards about Warsaw Pact aircraft. So the original T-64 fire control system is what developed into the T-72's fire control system, and also is this. But instead of having the laser rangefinder and that big red gun ready light at the top, I think it still had the red gun ready light. I don't remember for certain, but it had the kind of half moon scale at the top for range. It had the same reticle. The little red, it's a hexagon here because it's, I don't know why. I guess it's easier to draw a hexagon. But that little red ring, which you'll see in Gunner Heat PC, you'll see in Steel Beasts, you'll see here in the T-72 and the late T-64A and early T-80. That's your laser rangefinder. The way the TPD K1 sight is set up is that the left half, looking from the gunner's perspective, the left half of the gunner's primary sight is the actual optic, and the right half is the laser rangefinder. Now, you won't be able to see it in this most likely, because RHS just reused their old ArmA 2 models, so they're not exactly the best looking things on Earth, and also I don't think I can get the angle without going into the screenshot mode, which I don't know how to use. In Gunner Heat PC, if you look towards a primary, like the gunner's primary sight, which is that big box over the infrared spotlight, you'll notice that half of it's purple, half of it's yellow. The yellow half is the laser. Now, the way this was done was very kind of slapdash, so the laser is never pointed the same place in two tanks. Well, usually not. Sometimes you get lucky and the laser's almost co-witness to the point of aim. Like here, it's almost on the point of aim. It's just slightly above it. Some tanks, it's way below it to the right. It's way above it to the left. It can be wherever the fuck, as long as it's within a certain... I forget how many mils of the center of the reticle, but as long as it's within a certain tolerance, it was considered close enough as good enough. What this means is that it's a pain in the ass because you've got to lay the gun twice. So you've got to lay your reticle onto whatever you want. I think even RHS randomizes its position, but I know Gunner Heat PC does. Now, for the sake of demonstration, because Sabo flies very flat at this range, and I just noticed at this resolution it cuts off that knob, which is annoying. That's very annoying. Please fix that, RHS. We have a Sabo up the spout. There's not much we can do about that except fire it, so we will laze that house. And now you see it drops the sight. It's like a World War II tank gun sight. It will elevate the sight, but it will not super elevate the gun. You have to do that by hand. So you laze whatever you want to laze, the gun ready light comes back on, and then you manually super elevate the gun to lay it. The gun automatically indexes to load. I don't think it should index after the shot though, and it shouldn't jump the sight. RHS, it should not jump the sight. What are you doing? It doesn't on reload. Okay, maybe that was just recoil. It shouldn't jump the point of aim like that, though. So, okay. Let's do that again. We'll just double check our lays. We have to relays because we've indexed a different ammo type. I don't remember if the tank automatically switches on index. I don't think it does. Gunner Heat PC abstracts certain things like that to simulate an actual trained gunner, as opposed to a player that doesn't know how the fire control system works. As I've said before, Gunner Heat PC is probably kind of describable as a Flaming Cliffs 3 sort of tank game, where everything has unified controls and is simplified to the level where the fire control systems are simulated accurately, but a bunch of stuff is simplified so that players don't get confused. Like, if you simulated the M60A3's fucking laser rangefinder accurately, it would be a fucking nightmare, because the commander has to hit, like, 6 buttons to reset the laser, and you have to reset the laser to feed the ballistic solution into the computer to elevate the gun. Like, it's a piece of shit. Like, holy fuck, the M60's fire control system is bad. Like, it's awful. It's just stopgap on stopgap on stopgap. It gets worse every time they do something to it. But, yeah, like, I don't know if that's accurate in RHS or not, but whatever. So, reticle drops further, because HE frag, it's going to drop more. Heavy shell. And less propellant, because Sabo has, you would have seen it in Gunner Heat PC when I streamed it. The actual Sabo itself has even more propellant packed around the bottom. So Sabo rounds are overpressure rounds. HE is considered full charge. In fact, in the T-55's gun sight, you'll see OF Poln, HE full, as in HE full charge. So that's the standard charge, or like one throwing charge in a T-72 or T-80 or whatever is your full charge round. So Sabo is overcharged because you got the full charge round and then what's on the back of the Sabo. So they wear the barrel out like fuck. That's how they get the high velocity out of it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. Point is, drops down. We've super elevated the gun manually. We fire. Okay, yeah, it hasn't jumped this time, so it's probably just a weird recoil thing. We've hit it, and then I've got... Actually, no, this doesn't have series mode. This is the early autoloader. This doesn't have series. So I have to manually hit the button for the MZ, which is the autoloader. AZ is the T-72 type. MZ is the T-64 and T-80 type. I hit R. You hear it running, and the gun will automatically super elevate. And then it'll drop back to, yep, back in sync with the gun sight. So to that one guy on the Steam forums who said that the gun has to fucking elevate to load, yes it does. The gunner can't see what he shot at. Yes, he fucking can, because it's an independently stabilized sight, you moron. I probably shouldn't call people morons while being a community ambassador, but it gets frustrating sometimes. Anyway, that's how this fire control system works. Let's fuck up that building. I'm using my mouse to aim here, which is kind of jumpy, to be honest. I do have the keyboard bound, and I also have the HOTAS bound for it. I just don't want to... For the purposes of this quick demo, it's not really worth setting up. So this icon in the top right, you can see by the typical ArmA weapon status bar, that's our ammo type. I can't select the leftmost option, which is off. The option I've got selected, it's off the screen because RHS fucked something up with the screen resolution, but it should say O, which is Oskolchny Fugasny, HE frag. Then we got B, Broni sorry, which is armor piercing. In this case, armor piercing fins stabilized discarding Sabo. K, Kumulativny, heat. U is Upravляемый raket. Raketa. Fucking Russian grammar. I think it's just raket. Which is ATGM. Even this early T-80 has gun-launched ATGMs. So, let's fire a fucking gun-launched ATGM at something. We don't need to worry so much... Oh, because it's still indexed to HE, sorry. So we get our distance for laser rangefinder. It's 3.5 kilometers. I think that's in range for a reflex, question mark. It's not loaded in ATGM. I don't think I've got any in the tank. So I can select it, but there's none loaded in the tank. Okay, never mind. We're not firing an ATGM. Let's go... We fired a Sabo. Let's go to heat for our next round. So... Yeah, it won't index to the round I don't have loaded. I gotta fire the gun first. So let's just fucking yeet the HE frag that was up the barrel. The reticle did jump in recoil a bit. The way RHS does the... And I didn't aim the gun, so of course that happened. Oh, I was already indexed for... I don't use this thing very often anymore because I'm in an infantry unit in ArmA, so Please excuse my incompetence. There we go, we got heat indexed. You see it goes down, then pops back up. RHS has to do a lot of weird hocus pocus to get this fire control system to work. So you'll notice some weirdness, like you don't notice the tank rocking. The site's perfectly stable, probably too stable. But yeah, there's our heat round. I think it was slightly over. The rangefinder's not perfect in ArmA because it's a janky workaround. But then if we go to Sabo, it should fly more or less flat at that range. Okay, it wants me to load it first, then index it. Reflex, I think. Svir is the T-72's ATGM, but I don't remember which is the older one. It might be Svir. I don't know. Oh, I know, right, Kang? Now we get some vibration in the sight. Like, what the fuck? Overpressure round. I guess maybe it does it for that. If I go to third person and hit reload, there's a super elevation. So Americans make a big deal out of this because Americans don't realize literally every tank in the world does this except theirs. The Leopard indexes its gun to load, the Challenger indexes its gun to load, the Chieftain indexed its gun to load. Like, literally every tank, not just the Soviet ones, indexes their gun to load. The Americans don't do it. Probably partly because they have very spacious turrets to work in, probably partly out of blatant disregard for the loader's safety and convenience. I don't know. I do know that it's now common practice after some very unpleasant accidents that involved in hands getting eaten, that they safe the they disconnect the stabilizer or something before before they reload coax in the Abrams, because the loader has to reach across the breech of the gun to do it, or like across the not the breech, across the barrel shank to do it, and like they can get their hands caught in stuff. But, yeah, like every other country's tanks, from, like, fucking the 1960s on, they index their guns to load. There's even a marking on the actual gun shield inside the turret, so that if you're manually cranking the turret, say the power's off, the tank's damaged, or you've just got the power off because you're using it in a fixed position, you can hand crank it to that position. And Shawshank put up a video not long ago of the inside of the turret during indirect fire, and you can see he hand cranks the turret down to reload it. I cannot recommend his YouTube channel enough, by the way. If you guys are, if you guys are into tanks, and especially Soviet-era MBTs, he is a Ukrainian tankist, so he sees a lot of action these days. He speaks Russian. He's from Kharkiv, so that's probably why he's such a good tankist. But he is Ukrainian, despite the fact I've never seen or heard him speak it. Bamboozles a few Ukrainians that stop by the comments too. So, being that this has the early fire control system, we are not going to have auto lead. Curiously, I also can't open my FCS, which you can in some of the tanks in RHS. There's like you press B in the gunner seat and it opens the FCS control panel, which you can actually see in some of Shawshank's videos. And that you can use to manually set the range. You can use it to manually set the type of powder you're using, humidity, stuff like that affects gunnery at long range that you need to actually feed into the fire control system. Some of it's emergency mode, some of it's actually just you need to feed this like, oh, we're using such and such batch of ammo, we know it's this percentage over or under the specification for the powder charge, so we adjust it. Anyway, simple, no auto lead. No automatic super elevation, you have to manually do it. It's the same fire control system as the T-72. If you see me play it in Gunner Heat PC, you've seen it here. You may notice in Gunner Heat PC that the field of view for the sight cuts off the top and bottom, so you don't see down the bottom of the scale there, you don't see the pulemyot, machine gun, and the OF, Oskochny Fugasny, high explosive, or HE frag. That's what those two scales are on the vertical part of the reticle. I don't know why I'm pointing at it on screen, because you guys can't see what I'm pointing at. But it's very manual. Very, very manual. If you can use the T-72's fire control system, you can use the T-80 initial model. So, having done that, and now as I try and remember what my... Okay, it is that. We'll switch to the T-80A. The commander... Did they actually have the fucking... ZPU on this? Surely not, because I don't think they put a proper ZPU on the T-80 until the fucking T-80UD. What the fuck? Or was the T-80A, like, not a big thing? My T-80 knowledge is not all there, I'm going to be honest. This is how the T-64's machine gun works. It's remotely controlled from inside. It's kind of like the Abrams Commander's 50 cal. The original Abrams Commander's 50 cal, just with a better sight for engaging aircraft. And a better cupola in general. So I am doing this remotely. Unlike the T-72, unlike most T-80s, I can do this from inside the turret. And like I demonstrated on the Gunner Heat PC T-64 model, which is previewable on Grafenwür, that little bar next to the IR lamp on the machine gun mount, that is your periscopic sight for the machine gun. There's a lot of nuance in the machine gun mounts, like the ZPU, Zenitny or Zenitnaya. Russian is gendered and case-based. I can never get the right fucking version of the word, but Zenitny Pulemyotny Complex. Sorry, Ustanovka. Not fucking, it's not ZPK, it's ZPU. Ustanovka mounting. Anti-aircraft machine gun mounting. Literally that means. Zenitnaya air defense in military context. Pulemyot machine gun. Literally bullet thrower. A mortar is minomyot, which is mine thrower. A machine gun is pulemyot, which is bullet thrower. I fucking love Russian. And then Ustanovka is mounting. Zenitnaya pulemyot Ustanovka. Yeah, like I said, gendered and cased language. It's a fuck. For an English speaker who doesn't have to worry about things like that. We just have apostrophes instead. That fucks up English speakers, let alone anyone else. So this is a commander seat. Yep, cool, whatever. I can cycle through optics. No. Okay. Cotty. T-80A. What gives? What gives? If T-80B doesn't have the fucking dank commander's sight, like this is an independently stabilized commander's gun sight. The commander has almost the same setup the gunner has. This is like a T-80U feature. I thought the B had it, but apparently it doesn't. Why does the T-80A have the good ZPU and the good commander's sight when the T-80A came? Of course it did. Of course it fucking did. They're worse than the fucking Germans, I swear. Anyway, this is a big deal. This is a big deal, because this is a second gun sight, like I said. Independently stabilized, power traversed. Like, this can do everything the gunner can do, and it's actually on the cupola, so it can be unhooked from the gun. And, you know, as well, the turret's going to rotate, but as I rotate the cupola around, it's unhooked from the gun, you'll notice. But if I go manual fire in ArmA parlance, that doesn't hook it up to the... Are you fucking serious? Cancel manual fire. Oh, right, because... No? No? Okay, I guess it doesn't work in RHS question mark, or it's not implemented fully or something, but this should be able to take over the entire turret from the gunner, which it is in real life. It can do that. By the way, as commander, you look at something and hold right mouse to get the AI gunner to slew onto it. With a human gunner, I think it's also just hold right mouse, or it might be shift. It's something. Gilson found it out once when we were tanking. But it's a full independent gun sight. And if I could actually select... Oh, I don't want to drive. If I could actually select my main fucking gun here... Now I can. Okay, so now it's coupled. I guess you... No. Bruh. See, I can range, but the turret's not slewing with me. T-80 and T-80B. 219 was the Gucci shit. 219 was the one that had the proper ZPU, I think. Was 219 the initial? I know that the ZPU mount was a 219 index, so it was meant to come with the object 219, but it didn't. And the T-80 ZPU was a clusterfuck, and the cupola was a clusterfuck right up until the UD. The U had a really good cupola like this, but it had a shitty ZPU, like probably the worst ZPU. Anyway, that's the commander's seat. This is going to be if we get later T-80s, say future theaters with Gunner Heat PC, because like I said, the T-80B doesn't have this as much as I hoped it did, and I thought it did, doesn't. This is a big deal. This is better than what the Abrams has by an order of magnitude. Abrams didn't get CITV until the 90s. M1A2, I think. I don't even think A1 had it. So CITV was ready, but it was too expensive and Congress wouldn't approve it. There were some teething issues as well, I think. So CITV didn't exist, functionally speaking, until the 90s. Leopard 2 had a better system than this, I believe, because it had, I think, rudimentary thermals tied to it or something. I'm not a Leopard stan, so I don't know. I just know it had a really good system, at least as good as T8, like late T80s did. But the American tanks, when the T80s hit, even the T80B without this cool system, the T80B's fire control system is in some ways better than the Abrams. Now, if the T80A has this shit, it's probably going to have the 1G42 side at least, and the 1A33 fire control system, I would guess. So let's go. Yep. Okay, so this is a 1G46. This is this is equivalent to the T80U. This is the real modern shit. Okay, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're talking about Gunner Heat PC sort of in a roundabout way. So we'll go to the T80B, which is what we're actually getting. You're back to your typical shitty TPN2 fucking commander site. Like, it sucks. It's better than nothing, but it sucks. And then, yeah, because RHS uses your optic zoom levels as different sites for the tanks, that's your Unity periscope, that's your image intensifier. Obviously it's not going to see shit in daylight, and that's your actual commander's site. This hasn't been implemented in Gunner Heat PC yet, but this will be present on like pretty much all the Warsaw Pack vehicles. They will all have this, all of them. BRDM has this, BMP has this, all of the BMPs have this. T72 has this, T64 has this, T80 up to the T80U has this, like, or T80A, I guess. I guess that came before the U. So get used to this. It's like I said, it's something, but it's not good. It's depending on the tank, the cupola may or may not be stabilized or power traversed. The T80s, I believe, up until the UD were mostly manually traversed. Actually, no, the U wouldn't be. The U would be power traversed, and the A would be too. The B wasn't. The B was manual. The original model was manual. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I wish Interlinked was in chat to correct me on the fly. Cotty's here. Cotty's better at this than I am anyway. But yeah, so like the T80, it's weird. The Soviet MBTs were give and take in every direction. The T72 ended up having the best protection. The T64 and T80 shared the best fire control system. Late T80s actually had the best one, but the T64 and base model, like T80B, were tied for best fire control system until you get to like T80U and UD and all the Gucci shit. The best running gear and best engine is a matter of opinion. I've learned recently it greatly offends Russians if you express that you like the T64. I think that's a political issue these days, if I'm honest. No offense to my Russian viewers, but I feel like y'all are a bit sensitive about your T72s. You shouldn't be. It's a good tank. It gets a bad rap because of situations that it was never going to win. They were stacked against it from the start. It's like how the MiGs get bad rap for the US fucking clowning on them with like a fucking 5-1 numbers advantage. And still losing aircraft to them anyway. But, yeah, you could argue the T-80 had the most potent power plant, but not the best, because it had low life resource by comparison and guzzled the fuck out of fuel, which the Soviet Union had a lot of, but, you know, couldn't necessarily get it where it needed to go. And particularly during post-Soviet times in the 90s and early 2000s, the Russians couldn't afford to keep their T-80s running very much. T-72, yeah, the Czech 72s are pretty fucking heavily upgraded, man. Like, they also have, like, the most annoying designation. Was it T-72M1? No, T-72M4CZ, sorry. T-72M4CZ. The M1 is the base level export model. The fucking M2 doesn't exist, I think. Oh, no, is the M2 Slovakia? No, Slovakia is like the M3. I don't fucking know. Slovakia is an M something. Czechs are an M4. I think one of the numbers was probably going to be for the Poles, but the polls are like, fuck you, we're going to give it a different name entirely because we don't give a shit. M2 is Moderna. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong then. Original T-80 had TPD 249, same as the original T-64, yeah. So it's... I was kind of talking about that, then I sidetracked myself. The TPD 249 is that site, the TPD K1, oh sorry, yeah, TPD K1. It's that site, but without the laser rangefinder. So instead of the laser rangefinder dot, and instead of it automatically super elevating, you've got a split image coincidence rangefinder in the middle of the site, which RHS have shown a tech demo for like a year and change ago, but we still don't have any T64s. Hurry up, please, guys. I need it in my life. Gunner Heat PC's T64 is going to come out first, I have no doubt in my mind. But it shifts the image left and right. It's not like the M60 where it's a ghost image. It doubles up and it looks like beer goggles and you have to get it in focus. It's laterally separated in the middle, so it's probably easier to use, especially against tall things like trees and towers and stuff. It may or may not be less precise, I don't know. I'm not an optics nerd, but it seems like it'd be quicker and more user-friendly to use. Anyway, it's still inferior to a laser, so as soon as they got the laser rangefinder in numbers, they got rid of that and replaced it with the laser, and the laser automatically feeds in that range. The fire control system then functions exactly the same between the TPD 249 site and the TPD K1. That's the site itself, by the way. The actual fire control system is 1A something, 1A20, I think. It's 1A20 something. I think it's 1A20. Modernized T72 with the ATGM is 1A40. Right, so let's get in the gunner seat. This is a 1A42 gun site. Fuck me, 1G42 gun site. That's a GRAU index. Even I have trouble remembering them sometimes, but they bamboozle most Westerners. The first letter or first number and letter, everything up to the first letter basically is the index, and then everything after that is a subtype. So 1P is infantry small arms sights, like 1P63, the absorbed, the little purple tinted red, or not red dot, but like the baby cobra, that's 1P63. Kashtan, 1P78. 1PN is night optics, so 1PN34 or 1PN58 is the two different variants of the NSPU. I forget what the index for the actual PSO scope is because everyone just calls it a PSO, but that's your index. So 1A is a tank fire control system. 1G is a tank like a gunner's sight. 9K is a guided missile system. So 9K33, 9K111. 9K111 is the Fagot, the ATGM, which we have in Gunner Heat PC. And the missile itself is 9M. So 9K is the complex, which is the whole weapon system in Russian. And then 9M is the missile. Unless it's a Kub, in which case the complex is 2K and the missile is 3M. Don't ask me why. I think they ran out of indices and they went to the next one up. I don't know. 3B is ammunition, 3VB is ammo rounds. Yeah, tank ammo is complicated. Well, it depends on fucking type as well, though. It depends on type. Because you got, like, 3BM26, or 3OF26, or, whatever. Yeah, 3BM is armor-piercing penetrator, 3BM26 or 22, whatever. 3VBM is the round itself. I gotcha. So everyone's using the term for the dart, or for the projectile, not for the entire round. So we're all wrong, of course, as usual. So one thing I forgot to mention when I was in the T-80 OG model, but this is common to the T-72, you'll know it if you play Gunner Heat PC or whatever. To use the coaxial machine gun, you have to index it to 0. Like, it does it in RHS automatically when you've got the coax selected. When you use the rangefinder, it just leaves the it leaves the elevation of the sight where it is, but it moves the, it still gives you the range wheel, so you can tell how far to aim off. With Gunner Heat PC at the moment, you can't do that. You have to laze the target, then dump the laze, go back to 0, and then work from there. But also the T-72, like the TPD-1K reticle is not scaled properly for the coax, It's probably on the list of things to fix in the future, so just spray and pray at the moment. But that's how it should work, is you don't use automatic elevation for that. You have to do it by eye using the bullet drop compensator or ballistic drop compensator. So, anyway, to the 1G42. This is hooked into the 1A33 fire control system. This is a much more Gucci fire control system. Here's that control panel I was talking about. This is your backup distance switch. So if you need to manually set the distance, you use this. So I can manually set it to 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, or automatic. Auto, automatic. That uses a rangefinder input. This is your fucking hundreds of meters. This is your thousands. So it has 2 different knobs. Hundreds, thousands. So if I want to go, say, 1800, I go, hello, the click zone's a bit fucked. 1800, hello. Okay, I can only jump by... That's interesting. The way RHS have done this, because they made it 100 meter increments, not 50 on the click spot. So they've jumped it from 50. So I can go 750 or 850, but in the real tank you could go anything in between. The clicks are 50 meters. Anyway, let's go back to Avto. Let's go... Yeah, back to... It doesn't matter on that because it's on Avto anyway. This is your Delta V adjustment. Delta V adjustment. So Delta V is a system that adjusts the range based on the tank's own motion. The tank is aware of where... Like, it knows from trigonometry where the turret's pointed relative to the hull, and it knows what range is fed into the fire control system. So it can do that trigonometry to figure out roughly how far the target is, even if you're not driving directly towards it. You could be driving off at an angle. There'll be some error, but Delta D is close enough for government work, especially with Sabo. Delta D adjustment is unique to each tank, because there might be a bit of a, inconsistency in the actual sensor, which is in one of the, I think it's in the right rear brake, like in the final drive or something. You may need to wind it up or down. I don't even think you can click this in RHS. It's not functional, because it's assumed to be perfect. It's assumed to be 0. This is your air pressure. It matters. So we're actually below a standard day here. We're 7,500. We should be 7,600 for a standard day from memory, I think. In millimeters of... What is that? What unit's that? Millimeters, Is it millimeters of mercury, or is it fucking some other shit? I don't fucking know. Millimeters of mercury. So it's not inches of mercury, it's millimeters. At least it's the same fucking measuring standard, if not the same units. Air temperature. So we're not even a standard day for air temperature. Oh, no, we are, sorry. We're standard day for air temperature, but not pressure. We're 15 degrees C at close enough to sea level, but we're 75 something for pressure. So it's a slightly low pressure day. I don't actually... You can't click these. They're not functional. They're just there for decoration. This one, ground temperature. That matters. Ground temperature matters. And then this is your... Delta D adjustment. So if you can read Russian, like if you understand some Russian, you can work through this without having to label stuff. Now the Delta D, it actually... Oh. I'm sorry. It's labeled Delta V adjustment because I can't read. That's your ammunition setting. That's your ammunition setting. I can't read. Not Delta D. That's the Delta D adjustment down there. It says Delta, and it has a Latin D. Self-explanatory. So that's your Delta D adjustment. In millimeters, mind you. It's not a big adjustment. But I don't know what that's referring to in millimeters. Anyway, that's how you adjust your Delta D. So you'd probably set that up on the tank range when you bore sight the gun and get your gunnery skills in. This is your Delta V. This is ammunition. So if you've got older ammo, or it's inconsistent or something like that, or you're using new rounds that have a more powerful throwing charge, something like that. Anything that affects the actual pressure that the ammo has behind it. So not weather conditions, like I said, if you can understand a bit of Russian, TZ, temperatura zemlya, temperatura vozducha, ground and air respectively. This is off, on and off. I always mix up on and off in Russian because it's literally the same fucking thing, just with one extra letter. But this is your Dutchik Krena angle sensor. I used to mix this up with the auto lead system. This is not the auto lead system. This is the cant sensor. So you won't see it here because I'm on relatively level ground. But you may have noticed, especially in Gunner Heat PC, when you're parked like at an angle with the Abrams or the M60, because their reticle jumps to adjust, you'll notice the reticle jumps to one side. That's a cant sensor adjustment. You also notice that before they fiddled with the sights on the move, you notice sometimes on the move as you drove like over sort of snaking terrain, you'd notice that the sight would look a bit drunk. It would jump from left to right to left to right. It was trying to get straight up and down, but it couldn't quite do it. That was, I don't know if the cant sensor actually does that, but the cant sensor is designed to compensate for that. I'm not sure how the thermal optics work on the M60A3, to be honest, besides being very analog and old-fashioned. So this is the angle sensor, the cant sensor. Turning this off means if you're on a hillside and you just use the laser rangefinder as usual and fire, your round's going to land on the downhill side to the, like, say I'm tilted to the left on a hill and I turn this off and fire as if I think that I'm, you know, firing straight ahead, it's going to go left. So you wouldn't normally turn this off if you're in a stationary position. I know in the M60A3, there was actually a button next to the gunner which would turn the... It was moving mode and stationary mode for the cant sensor, and basically moving mode turned the cant sensor off because it was not very reliable on rough ground. But I don't know how common it was to actually use that, and I don't think it's modeled in Gunner Heat PC. I don't know if the T-80's cant sensor is also an unreliable piece of shit, or if it's actually good and they just put that there for the sake of it. Control is test, self-test, does actually work, it just runs through the systems. Stabilizer, stabilizator, it's the same, basically the same word. But stabilizer alpha, which is, I think, azimuth, and then stabilizer beta, which is, I assume, elevation. And then DK is Dutchik Krena, like I said, cant sensor. V is, I don't actually know what V is. Might be, I don't know. Temperatura variada? No. No. Round temp would matter. Well, I mean, it could be, but I wouldn't think so, because you've already got, well, you've got your delta V adjustment, so I assume you'd have a lookup table for delta V based on temperature of the ammo. But I don't know, maybe. This is labeled in RHS's ground temp. It might be temperatura variada, but notice it's the same range as air temp. Minus 60, plus 60. If your ammo is plus 60, I'd be pretty fucking worried. So I feel like that is ground temp, probably. Anyway, that's your little fire control panel. How do I get rid of it? Escape. So, we're not laser, we are lasers, but we're in the machine gun mode. The machine gun in this, in RHS, is modeled as not adjusting the sight at all, because there's some other things with that. However, it's not auto-leading, which is interesting. So the machine gun doesn't auto-lead at that range. Does it auto-lead closer? No, that's too close to lays. No, it doesn't. Interesting. I don't know if the machine gun disables the auto-lead in the real tank, but in RHS it does. So, let's go to Sabo, 3BM22, my beloved. Boy, when we get this in Gunner Heat PC, the NATO tears are flow. Oh, by the way, adjustable zoom. Depending on the version of the 1G42, the zoom can be, I think, either constant or 2-stage. This is 2-stage. I know that the 1G42 does come in a constant zoom variant, because that's Shawshank's T64, one of his T64s that he was on. He did a whole run through the gun sight in the actual tank with the actual gun sight, and he showed gradual zoom from, what is it, like 3 power to 9 power or 12 power or whatever it is. But yeah, we've got 2 zoom levels in RHS on this site. Now I'm going to laze, I don't know, that building there. 3,500 meters, that's, I wouldn't take that shot except maybe with an ATGM. Might even be outside the reach of that. You will notice I'm lasing with the point of aim, the tip of that little carrot. You'll also notice that didn't move, everything else moved. That's a backup mode. So, for whatever reason, if the stabilizer's off or the gun super elevation system's not working for whatever reason, the manual backup mode, which is also something Shawshanks demonstrated on The Real Tank on his YouTube channel, like I said, go drop him a follow, or a subscribe, sorry, on YouTube. Shawshank Redemption. You'll know you found the right channel when it's just T-64s and T-80s and T-72s and stuff. The left scale is B, Bronibojny, Sabo. Then right scale, or middle scale, sorry, is Uskoczny Fugasny, HE frag. Right scale is Kumulativny, but it's, for some reason, it's written as N sometimes instead of K. I don't know if it's just a K that, like, it's small enough it looks like an N or what, but if it looks like either an N or a K in the context of tank rounds on the site graduations, it means heat. You'll notice there's the ammo selector in the top right isn't cut off as much by the screen, so Upravляемые ракеты, which is ATGM, I'll show off that, but not yet. B, Bronibojny. N is Kumulativny. O, Uskoczny Fugasny. Then we got a second switch. Syria. Not as in the country. We're not gonna get a visit from Bashar. Syria as in series. Or sequence is probably the better English translation, even though the word is literally loan-worded from series. Up is on, down is off. What that is it will automatically load the same type of round immediately following the shot. So if I'm set to series on and I fire a Sabo round, no matter what I've got selected, it should fire the next Sabo in the rack. From memory. Actually, it's been so long since I fucking studied up on this stuff, it might even load what you got selected next, but I don't think it does. I think it only indexes the same round. The way this system works, by the way, to figure out what round you've selected in the autoloader, there's like a little metal stud. It's like a 3 or 4 position, depending on whether it can fire ATGMs or not. A little metal stud on the top of the autoloader rack. It's different on the T-72 because the T-72 lays both parts of the ammo flat. But on the 64 and the 80, the throwing charge sits almost vertical, and the autoloader has an indexer at the top, which reads that little metal stud and figures out, okay, it's in this position relative to me. It must be selected for arm piercing, or it must be selected for HE frag. It's electromechanical. It's glorious. I love it. Like, electromechanical things are beautiful in their own unique, shitty, horrible way. Yeah, that's how they do it. Well, that's the gunner has. I think it's I can't remember if it's a knob or a button for each type of ammunition. I think it's a knob down by his left hand somewhere. He selects the type of ammo, and then the autoloader will look for that little metal stud in the right position, and the first one of those it finds, it... the autoloader in the T-80, beyond the initial variants anyway, can rotate both directions, same as the T-64 beyond the initial variants. The original ones were the same as 72, they can only go one way, but the layout was different. But in the later T-80s and T-64s, it can rotate both directions, so you don't get as big an increase in load time as you select something on the other side of the rack. So anyway, you notice that the line at the top is now indexing my range down the bottom, 35-36, or 35-36. It's kind of hard to read because the Shack-Tac HUD's in the way, but you'll notice it's indexed to about where 3500 would be if the Bronibojny scale went up that high. So that's how you read it. If I've got Sabo selected, I read the B scale. If I've got heat selected, I read the right-hand scale, and you just look for where that line is. That line is for the backup system, and it's also there to just reinforce what the little screen down the bottom tells you. This readout is digital. It tells you what round is in the indexer, like what you've got selected, and then what the actual range is. The green light on the left is gun ready. The red light on the right is laser overheat from memory. I could be wrong, though. RHS reticle doesn't scale with zoom. Correct! Thank you for pointing that out, because I would have forgotten to mention it. The reticle in real life is on the... I forget if it's first or second. It's the focal plane where the reticle stays a constant size, and so it appears to expand as you zoom in and contract as you zoom out. So that's the way that's done in optics, is whether the reticle's on the first or second focal plane controls whether it scales with zoom or not. First focal, yeah. Warp is a gun person like me, but also like less rusty on gun stuff probably, so we've got the whole panel of experts here in chat to correct me when I fuck up inevitably, which is good. So yeah, it should scale. It doesn't. And if you watch Shawshank's videos of the 1G42 site and the T64 BV that he was in, it does, as you zoom in, it retains a constant scale relative to the world, but expands relative to your view of the world, if that makes sense. So that the stadia marks are always spaced equally, basically. The whole point of that is so that the stadia marks, which are X amount of mils apart, which you use for range estimation if the laser goes out, or for leading if the laser goes out and the auto lead system's not working, those remain a constant size, because you don't want to be, like when you zoom in, you don't want to be changing the scale of the mil radian reticle, because then it fucks your range estimations completely. Anyway, we have a range fed into the system. Oh, what is the gun doing? What the gun doing? The gun is auto-leading, or rather the sight is auto-leading, but it appears that the gun moves because I'm looking through the sight. What's actually happening is the sight is moving ahead of or behind the gun, as computed by the fire control system. This is how the auto-lead in the M1A1, I think, and M1A2, I know, that's how it works in the later Abrams. So a modern Abrams is laze and blaze, like this. You just laze something and fire. Like, you use the same point of aim for the laser. The gun, whether you're leading a target or not, it's always constant. In the early Abrams and the M60A3, though, in Gunner Heat PC, they don't have laze and blaze. You have to jump the reticle, or like the reticle jumps and then you have to, track it manually. It slows you down a little. It still works just fine, but it can get annoying chasing the reticle in the M1 sometimes, because it's like a gyro sight, right? It slips around. Here, I don't chase anything. The gun chases me, at least from my perspective. But you'll notice as well, because I'm using mouse input, so it's not very stable. When I use the keyboard, it's stable. When I use the mouse, it's slewing back and forth. So the auto lead in the RHS tanks, I never really liked. It felt like I was more accurate just eyeballing it, but I think it's because mouse control is super inconsistent. But like if it's kind of hard to do with Sabo because you won't see the impact. We'll do a HE frag next. We'll go off of series mode or sequence mode. So we'll laze there, and then we'll bring the gun across. And the Sabo's going to land somewhere over there because it thought we were leading a moving target. Now we're going to reload. There goes the gun, index to load. M1, A1's the same as IP M1. Seriously? I didn't get any of that shit until M1A2? Fuck me. Where I was going with the whole backup reticle thing is you'll notice that the horizontal stadia marks that you would use for manual leading, they drop down. So the emergency backup mode would be, if the super elevation isn't working on the gun, stabilizes off, whatever, you would just aim with the intersection of that line and the vertical line. And like I said, you can see Shawshank doing that in his videos. And I think it says P, so I think for the... Oh no, sorry, the P is for the scale there, I think, on the right-hand side. But yeah, that's your backup mode. So it's T72 mode as a backup, but the primary system is better than the M1, at least in every respect except having thermals. Despite the analog appearance, there's auto lead with HE frag, so you should see an explosion. Oh, you might not because it's behind a hill, but like there's... Yep, right there, see? So that's how it works. You can dump the lead in the real tank, I'm pretty sure. In RHS it's kind of awkward because you use your fucking laze button to do it, and so it's acting like it's constantly lasing, and I don't even think it works right. Like I said, there's a lot of workarounds to this, so there's a lot of RHS specific knowledge because of the workarounds they used. It doesn't work like the real tank, but it also doesn't work like you would expect it to. Right, let's go with an ATGM. We laze to get the range of what we're shooting at, but we... don't want to turn the simulation rate up, but we're not actually using that for anything because it's an ATGM. It's rocket propelled. So we just fire as normal. It's a low pressure charge. It yeets it out the fucking barrel. And then it's SACLOS, semi-automatic command to line of sight. Boom, straight into that house. Good timing on that, because if I'd waited any longer, it would have missed behind it. Simple. Very, very, very simple. Gun-launched ATGMs are very expensive, though, so they didn't generally actually see much use. But the system works, right? The system works. The reason the US abandoned it is because the US fucked up their initial version of it and then couldn't be asked to try again. Like Erst, right? The US fucked up the initial versions of it. Well, they didn't even really. They had decent ones by the standards of the time. The Soviets didn't even have it yet. But the Americans decided, A, it was shit, and B, they didn't need it. And now they're playing catch-up again. Same deal. Well, not catch-up. Because they've got, you know, what is it? DAS, which is absolute fucking yobbergasm, but... Anyway, that's the 1G42 sight, the 1A33 fire control system. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Like I said, it's just laze and blaze. So, if you're tracking a moving target, literally all you have to do is just laze it, hold your point of aim on the target directly, right on center of mass, and then boom, fire. And there you can see the tracer ahead of where I aimed, and that would have been a kill shot if there was an Abrams or M60 or something there. The gunner also has, obviously, a backup stadiometric range there. 2.7, I think, is the height of an M60's turret roof, not the fucking mini-me on top of the turret, not the cupola. I think that's to the top of the actual turret on the M60. It's a tall tank. You also have your Unity sight, same as the T-72 has. There's no backup reticle in this. It's like, this is just purely so the gunner has situational awareness of what's in front of him and where the gun is relative to, I don't know, trees, buildings, things that you don't want the gun hitting. It is not fun to schwack your gun on something, right? Especially if it hits it hard enough to turn the entire turret around and somebody was not ready for it. And then we've got our image intensifier, which is going to blind us because it's daylight. But simple. If we go to the T-80A or U, it doesn't matter. We'll take the U, because the U is the more yobber tank. Like I said, this does have the sick-ass backup gun sight for the commander. Fully independent, and it's on the cupola, so if you take a hit to the left side of the turret, disables the gunner's primary sight. The other T-series tanks that don't have this cupola, you don't have a backup sight, besides just hoping and praying with the Unity sight, or literally bore sighting down the gun. You know, you'd have to manually open the breech, look down it, get your head out the way, run the autoloader. It's not ideal. This, if you lose the gunner's primary sight, you've got basically a second gunner's primary sight to work with. Like, this is fucking incredible. This, whoa. Abrams wishes it had this in this time period. Obviously, CITV leapfrogged this and then some. But this was around in the 80s. And CITV was not, because Congress wouldn't approve the spending. As usual. The one time they should approve the spending on something, they fucking don't. 1G46 sight, it looks very similar to the 1G42, it's slightly different. So you've got the parallax markings there for your coaxial machine gun at close range, and the main gun. So at 50 meters... the coax impact point should be that 0.5 marking, and you can see it goes up in an arc towards the main thing, because the gunner's primary sight's mounted high and left of the gun, and then the coax is mounted right of the main gun. So you got quite a lateral separation there. That's what that's for. It functions pretty much exactly the same way that the 1G42 does, it just looks a little different. You got that little choke there beneath the range scales, or like the ammo scales. I don't know what that choke's actually for. And then your stadiometric range is moved to the other side of the sight. But it's a pretty fucking good fire control system. Especially for the time. Obviously you got smoke grenades as well. Now, we are not sure... I say we as in the community in general, I think, as well as some of the guys. We're not sure exactly what packed smoke grenades could and couldn't block in terms of thermals. So thermals see through normal smoke as if it's not there. That's why firefighters use thermal cameras, right? Smoke does not appear on thermals at all. White phosphorus does, and I think these are white phos, but I could be wrong. Engine smoke, even though it's hot smoke because it's coming out of the engine exhaust, the ESS doesn't. The ESS is useless against US thermals. So that's going to be a rude surprise to a lot of people in Gunner Heat PC, I think, when it comes. ATGMs can indeed work in a rifled gun. The T-55 was upgraded to fire an ATGM. I don't know how they did it, but it can fire it. I know there was also, because heat doesn't, like, heat out of a rifled gun is kind of suboptimal. Like, it disperses the jet in a way, I think. I don't remember the science of it. I'm not an expert on the Monroe effect, so please, like, don't hold me to this. But from memory, there's some sort of malice against heat penetration from a rifled barrel. So at one point, it was probably the Brits, because this is a very British thing to do. At one point, there was a heat round where the driving bands of the actual shell were freewheeling so that the driving bands would rotate in the barrel, but the actual fucking round itself wouldn't. And then it was fin stabilized. Like, that is a very British thing to do. So, same as essentially the same. This should probably also scale the reticle, like I said. Well, I know it should. I don't know if the 1G46 had 2 different variants with the zoom. I think it did. Anyway, let's get moving. This thing's pretty quick as well, so, what's the cruise control in this? It's not plus. How do I tell him to keep going forwards? I forget what the key is. Q is slow ahead. It's not R. Cotty, do you remember? I don't know why I'm asking you. I don't even know if you played ArmA 3. Like, there's a fucking cruise control key in this game, and I forget what it is. It's not the arrow keys, because I bound that to my gun. Let me check. There is cruise control. I'm running out of time here. I'm gonna have to go to class soon. I've spent so much time talking. Vehicle movement. Car slow forwards, Q. E, left shift W. That's when you're driving it. More left. Did they remove it? I swear there was. I swear to God. I swear there was cruise control in this. Oh! I think it was an RHS setting, incremental throttle, like in Red Orchestra or something. Anyway. So the sight's 2-axis stabilized. Gun is 2. It stays pointed pretty much where it's pointed. It is limited in traverse rate. It's like 20... somewhere in the range of 18 to 26 degrees a second, or 24 degrees a second. They seem to tend more towards the upper limit if they're well maintained, because Shawshank showed his tank. Again, he does a lot of stuff showing this. He showed his T-64 could traverse it, was it 24 or 26 degrees a second. So it's not the fastest turret traverse. The Abrams, I think, is faster. The Bradley is certainly faster. The M60, I think, is slower. The M60's turret is fucking sluggish as shit. No, you're right. I think there isn't a cruise control. I just have to hold Q for slow or E for fast. So let's go normal speed, whatever that is. Oh, also we have the speed limiter from 345's mod pack. But yeah, like I can... The auto lead is not active for some reason at the moment. If I fire the gun... Auto lead, hello? Auto lead not working on the move. It should be. Just like the Abrams, this can compensate for its own movement and the target's movement at the same time, so it should auto lead on the move. And I've seen the real tank do it as well. So, despite the fact this site looks like it's from World War II, in terms of all the clutter on the site, this is better than what the M1A, you know, the M1IP, M1A1 have. Except it doesn't have thermals. But in every other respect, it's more advanced. I almost feel like it is auto-leading, it's just not showing the gun movement. Because it's hitting exactly where I aim. Dunno. That went short. Oh no, it didn't. That went on. Okay, never mind. But you can see that I'm not hitting reload here, it's just Series is doing it automatically. Very good fire control system for its time. It's deceptively, yeah, as soon as I stop the tank, the auto lead shows again. It looks deceptively old-fashioned, but this is a fully digital fire control system. Like, I assumed it was analog because of all the adjustments for, like, ammo variation and temperature and shit. No, that's just there to augment the wind sensor on the back of the tank. It's a fully digital fire control system. Unlike the M60A3. I think the M60A3 is a mix of analog and digital from memory. The Abrams is fully digital, obviously. I think the Bradley is too. So that's our T-80 series. The smoke grenades, by the way, probably shouldn't fire in singles. There's a couple settings. There's like fire one entire bank. There's fire two from a bank. Like there's salvo settings for it. There's a little knob selector or something, but I don't think they can fire singly. I don't know why you would fire them singly anyway. I think I've fired all of them in this, so I've got no reloads. If I go to another, let's go to the T-80BV, because why not? And then we go to the gunner seat. We'll go to the periscope here. Control G. Shift G. Nope, okay. So you can't adjust the fire mode for the smoke grenades unless there's another bind for it. I don't know. But this tank is going to be very unpleasant when it comes to gunner heat PC for the guys that are kind of cocky about, oh, my M1 owns everything. Because, yeah, the M1 is still very well armored, even against, like, modern, at the time, Soviet ammo. But it's not invincible, even now, and it'll be less invincible when it's fighting something with a better fire control system that's as mobile as it is. I don't remember if... Yeah, this reverses faster than most Soviet tanks, I think, but I don't remember if it can reverse at full speed. I'm pretty sure the Abrams can. But it's a mobile tank. It's small. It's got a very good fire control system. It's got a round that's much more dangerous to the Abrams and will cut through an M60 from pretty much any angle without caring. I'm not saying the T-80 is going to stomp, because you still have to know your tank. You still have to understand how it works and use it well. Like, I still get wrecked in the Abrams from time to time, even though it's easy mode. I had a fucking rude awakening playing M60A1 missions in the campaign earlier. I had a fucking company wipe. I had, I think, my first ever NATO company wipe earlier, playing a company attack in the M60A1. 11 kilometers an hour, yes, it's got the same... Well, not the same shitty reverse gear, but a marginally less shitty reverse gear. But yeah, it's a pretty solid tank. It's a pretty solid tank. And also the hunter-killer system, because people make a big deal of hunter-killer and they throw the term around without realizing what it actually means. The hunter-killer system is actually better on even the T-72 than most of the US tanks of the era. The Leopard had a good one from memory, but the... like the M60, not really. The Abrams, at least until CITV, not really. But you notice how the cupola is rotating independently of the turret, so the commander can look the complete opposite direction to me and spot stuff over there. And not only that, but he just has to press a button and it slews my gun to exactly where he's looking. Now, in the T-72, it's a little less reliable because it's not stabilized, so it'll be roughly in the ballpark, but it might be off a bit, vertically especially. In the later T-80s, it's fully stabilized, two axis like the gun is. So it will put me exactly where he's looking. Yeah, T-80 is going to be... Oh, I had a fucking close call there. Gun collision physics are a thing in ArmA, or at least were last time I checked. It's the fastest way to flip a tank in this game. Let's see if I can schwack the gun. This isn't modeled in Gunner Heat PC. Oh no, they took it out! They took it out? Oh, you used to be able to schwack the gun on the RHS stuff. Yeah, Gunner Heat PC probably won't feature that, at least for a while, if at all, because it gets annoying to deal with. You don't have proprioception in a game. I mean, you don't in a real tank to a degree, but, like, it just becomes annoying. On the other hand, it would stop people shitting around in fucking forests, which they shouldn't be doing. So, you know, the sight vibrations added some emergent, realistic gameplay. Schwacking the gun on trees sure would as well. But yeah, T-80s are going to be a real nice asset for the packed players when they come to Gunner Heat PC, and a nightmare for all but the actually competent knowers that play NATO. Because a lot of the people that play NATO in the game at the moment, without grossly offending like half the player base or more, they like to think they know about tanks, but they don't. Let me put it this way, and I brought this up with some of the guys in Harry's Discord the other day, is you can tell in the Gunner Heat PC Discord who came from War Thunder and who has played things like Wargame. Because the Wargame players are pact-pilled. They understand how well momentum and speed and violence works when you do it competently. Like, me and my mates, we had a fucking perfect routine for the highway map in European Escalation. We did not lose that map. It was virtually impossible to make us lose that map without doing something really cheesy, because it was exactly that. We had a routine. The guys on the left flank would act as bait, draw the enemy into basically an anvil, and then I was the hammer with my mechanized force. I would just let the enemy roll into the objective in front of me, ambush them from the tree line right in front of them. I'd have like an entire company's worth of shit lined up in that tree line ready to go. So they'd suddenly start getting pelted by tank rounds and ATGMs as a smirch battery is shitting on them because it was already pre-sighted. I knew they'd go there, right? It's an objective. They're going to go there. And that would stun lock them, knock out some of them, whatever. And then as soon as the last rocket landed, I just fast moved, not even attack move, fast moved my tanks directly through their still shattered formation and drive straight past them, straight for their spawn. Command, like it induces command paralysis. They don't, like, they're trying to react to something you did 5 minutes ago. They still haven't figured out how to react to something you were doing 5 minutes ago. That is what Pack Doctrine is built around. And when it works, it's fucking beautiful. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Now, having said that, you can easily fuck it up, as we are having amply demonstrated by somebody at the moment. But it also doesn't help the Ukrainians, and before that, the Chechens were as well versed in it as they were, because they were all in the Soviet army as well. But Pack Doctrine, when it works really well. It's a doctrine designed for a major total war with a big land army. Like, it's a war doctrine. Western Doctrine, I'm not going to say it's bad or it doesn't work or anything, because, like, obviously no. But it's for a different kind of military, and it's for a different kind of goal. The Soviets wanted to play grabby-grabby on as much land as they could in Europe, so that when things inevitably went to the negotiating table a couple weeks later, because both sides knew they couldn't keep it up for more than a couple weeks, basically, with or without nukes, they wanted to have bargaining chips when they went to the negotiating table. So they would grabby as much land as possible. And then, oh, well, we'll give you all this back, but we keep this bit, and you have to give us this. You know, they want to negotiate from a position of strength. NATO didn't have that concern, or they had different ones, so their doctrine's different. But when you are aware of how this shit is designed to work, like, there's a video, I might post it in my Discord later, it's been posted a couple times, but not specifically relating to Gunner Heat PC. It's the deliberate attack for a Soviet motor rifle battalion from Combat Mission Cold War. It's a textbook example. It's set up to literally be a textbook example. It's not always going to be that perfect, but it shows you how this shit's designed to work. These tanks roll up from behind some terrain feature where they're concealed to about 2 kilometers, which is ATGM range, and outside the range of particularly the early M60s with the coincidence rangefinder, and they open fire. And as the American tanks, or German tanks, Canadian tanks, whoever they're fighting, as they open fire, there's artillery landing on them, so they can't communicate, they can't coordinate who they're firing on because it's too loud, they can't see from the dirt being thrown up. It's designed to confuse and disorganize them. As the Soviet tanks come over the ridge, the BMPs roll up behind them once the tanks have started establishing a base of fire. All 13 tanks of the fucking company, and this is a motor rifle battalion, a fucking tank battalion would be twice as many tanks, right? It'd be 2/3 tanks, 1/3 mechanized forces, not the other way around. But the 13 tanks of the company roll up on line and just begin engaging, and as soon as they see a dust cloud or a muzzle flash, they all start engaging it. It's like, if you're an RTS player, or you played a lot of Wargame, it's a thing you'll recognize. Focusing fire. You see a target, you just focus everything you have on it. Not even an Abrams is going to stand up to that much of a pounding from that many tanks, right? And so you do this for X amount of time, then you roll up another 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and you stop and fire again. And the whole thing is that these, the mechanized forces behind you are rolling up behind you. They're potentially lobbing, if it's a BMP, they're going to be lobbing ATGMs over your shoulder and stuff like that, if the terrain allows. The BMP is really hard to hit because it's small, especially if there's slight undulations in the terrain. I found that out the hard way last night in Gunner Heat PC. So you've got all of these targets all firing at you. You got to pick and choose what you shoot back at. And then anything that isn't dead to the artillery, if there's still infantry to clear out and there's still stuff like that, they'll roll up to about 300 meters, I think it is, from the position and debust the infantry. And then the infantry advance on it in a chain with their IFVs and clear it out. Like, it's a beautiful thing to watch. That's how this stuff is designed to be employed, and if you employ it in that method, it works really well. I've got to go in, like, now, but just as a closing thought, the mission Steel Wedge in Gunner Heat PC. Bold Limit's a good one for you're on the flank of one of these advances and they haven't noticed you yet. But Steel Wedge is the... Yeah, I know that my shirt's the just close enough to the green screen that's it's trying to hide it. Steel Wedge is a really good example of this because although it's scaled down, you have a company minus in most runs of the mission. And you're fighting maybe anywhere between 2 and 4 M60s, right? But given the relative proportions and the relative terrain, it's kind of like a scaled down version of a Soviet deliberate attack, albeit with the East Germans instead. And, you know, it's T-55s against M60A3, so you have a slight disadvantage, but not much. You can pen them, they can pen you, they have the better optics, but you are harder to hit. If you don't even play that mission, take control of one of the M113s, so you're not influencing the outcome. But take control of an M113 and go into the free camera, and just spectate it. Watch what happens. The T-55s will roll over the berm, they will begin firing as they see targets, so they'll fire from the short halt. One will stop. When he sees something, he'll shoot. The M60s are pretty visible from their muzzle flashes, and as they shoot, the T-55s will spot them and start engaging them. And if you let the AI play that out, there are pretty good odds now, as the AI has slowly improved over the game's development, especially their situational awareness, there's a very good chance that at least half of the East German force will make it to the objective. At least half. I've had almost all of them make it without me intervening. When I was playing a T-55 myself, I had a completely clean run of the mission. We didn't lose a single vehicle, not even a BMP. So Steel Wedge is kind of your preview of how this is going to work, including from the American side, because if you play on the American side, you are now getting artillery to shit, and you can't see because of the shake from the artillery, the fucking cloud of smoke everywhere. It's a really good sort of taster of what's to come, but even it's missing things like the Soviet ATGM flank security, or, you know, Soviet air support, or like the fire mission might not be the full scale of a pre-planned Soviet fire mission, but it is close enough. Now, I gotta go. I would normally... Oh shit, I got a lot of... What are you here this morning? Jesus, I should raid out to somebody. I will find someone to raid real quick. I'm sorry for the kind of scuffed second half of the stream and the rushing here, guys, but I do have to get to this class. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed that ArmA mission as much as I did. I fucking loved it. And hopefully next stream later in the week, we'll be able to do a full-on, like, whole day stream. Mostly whole day. I don't want to do 17 hours again. That was a bit out of control. We'll do some Misfits. We'll do some DCS. Maybe some Gunner Heat PC. I got a bunch of my regulars on, but I was thinking, are there any of my regulars on who I haven't raided in a while? There's a couple, but I kind of want to raid someone new. So I see 2 cats here who I've never seen before. Misfits DC3 Cargo. I'm down with that. I'm going to send you guys. Can you fuck off, please, ads? Thank you. I'm going to send you guys 2 cats. Because I love the Misfits DC3. With Jimenez Improvement Mod. That's a disclaimer. With Jimenez Improvement Mod. Default, it's not bad, but with the Improvement Mod, it's way better. So yeah, the DC3 has been like the big hit of Misfits for me recently. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe. I will catch you most likely Thursday my time. Possibly tomorrow, but unlikely. And fingers crossed I can be constructive this afternoon and tomorrow and get all these assessments done so I don't have to worry about them anymore. I've been procrastinating so badly. Oh my god. Anyway, enjoy 2 cats. Enjoy the DC3. If you haven't tried it out yet, I strongly recommend you do. It's fucking wonderful. Catch you on the next one.